What started as a feud quickly became a podcast, which turned into a brand of collective wrestling fans with raw, unfiltered opinions.
Mixed in with special guests, starring the Tru Heel Phenom, SP3, the Tru Heel Residential Drink, Top Guy JJ, and the sensation, Miss Krssi Love. Welcome to Tru Heel Heat 100.
Hey, it's your good friend Justin Clapper from Wrestling Travels at Lockdown Sessions. I just want to wish a very happy 100th episode, 100th birthday to our good friends over at Tru Heel Heat, SP3, the beautiful and talented Miss Krssi Love, and of course, Top Guy JJ, Drunk Guy JJ, Sign Guy JJ, Devon JJ. I don't know how many you got over there, but guys, seriously, on a very serious note, congratulations. You guys have been doing some awesome stuff. Every time I watch Tru Heel Heat in any format, I'm always, I'm learning something about professional wrestling that I didn't know. And, I'm entertained. I'm laughing. I'm having a good time. So you guys, congratulations on 100 episodes. I don't know if I got this in time to be on the show, but certainly if it's not in on the show, maybe this can be a commercial and ad. Sign up on YouTube. Check them out on Facebook, on Twitter, any major social media platform. If you're not listening or watching Tru Heel Heat, you truly are missing out on something very spectacular. So congratulations to 100, and here's to the next 100 coming up. Congratulations, everybody. Really happy that I can call you guys friends.
Hello. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom, SP3. We have finally met our destination, the WrestleMania of Tru Heel Heat. It is episode 100, Tru Heel Heat 100.
Woo! See, I wish I had a blow one. I should have had noise and a bunch of... Oh, well, next time I'll be more prepared. See, if he was in person, I'd be prepared, I tell you.
There you go. You got another 100 episodes to prepare for. On this edition, this very, very special edition of Tru Heel Heat, we will be celebrating 100 episodes on this right here. But of course, we have to discuss the latest wrestling news, including one of the best pay-per-views of 2020 with AEW Full Gear 2020. The road to the Tokyo Dome is shaking up at the New Japan Pro Wrestling Power Struggle 2020. AEW Video Games announcement, week 54 of the Wednesday Night Wars, preview and predictions for Impact, Turning Point, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Best of the Super Juniors 27, and the World Tag League 2020, and much, much more. I am back once again with the lovely, the beautiful, the best free agent acquisition in the history of our first 100 episodes of Tru Heel Heat. My lovely co-host, the princess of all the Tru Heels, Miss Krssi Love.
Woo! Thank you, guys. Rumble has been so fun.
You are the Anthony Davis to my LeBron James.
Thanks, friend.
Top guy JJ is like Alex Caruso, but you are Anthony. Yes, you are Anthony Davis.
Okay, friend. Thanks. I'll take that. I don't minus the unibrow.
Yeah, minus the unibrow, of course. But you put up MVP type numbers. And we have some very special guests. We're gonna have a assortment of special guests on this episode, but we're gonna start things off with two of my favorites. These are not only great guests that we've had on past Tru Heel Heats, but they're actually some of my good friends and also admins for the Tru Heel Heat Facebook page. First off, this gentleman was on Tru Heel Heat 77, which to this date is still our most viewed Tru Heel Heat of 2020 on our YouTube channel. This is when we talked about Black Lives Matter. He is one of the artists extraordinaires in the wrestling world. Very multi-talented. He does a whole bunch of other things, and he has great opinions, very spicy opinions a lot of the times. It is Tru Heel Josh.
Woo!
Thanks for joining us, good brother. And then 4 episodes We had another admin of the Tru Heel Heat the Tru Heel Heat Facebook page, but this man is the host, one of the hosts of one of my favorite wrestling podcasts when it comes to wrestling fans going into that platform. It's called Dirt Sheet Radio, one of the best Facebook pages when it comes to covering wrestling news, and this man is very knowledgeable when it comes to professional wrestling, and I go to him on some opinions, even some opinions I don't agree with, like Bayley and Sasha being 5 stars. You heard all about that a few episodes ago. But this man knows his stuff. This man knows his stuff. It is the one, the only Jonathan. Thank you for joining us, dear brother.
Woo!
Thank you for having me.
Of course. We had to start off big with 2 of our former favorite guest hosts. Any memories you guys have of the episode you were on, or anything from the first 100 episodes of Tru Heel Heat? We'll start with you, Josh.
Oh, probably your feud with Baby Stuff. That was gold.
Thank you. Taking it back to the original days, the first video on our YouTube channel. Thank you for that memory there. How about you, Jonathan?
Man, I just love watching Tru Heel Heat come together and become what it is today. Like I've been friends with you guys for a while now. This is before Tru Heel Heat was a thing. So watching it become what it is now, it's just wonderful. I fucking love it. Obviously, I love the episode I was on too. So
Got to. We talked all about Tessa Blanchard and her we'll say antics. that's the nice way we could put that before Krssi Love goes off on a tangent here. This edition of Tru Heel Heat is brought to you by our friends at Wrestling Travel. Also, we got to send out a big congratulations to Mission Pro Wrestling for a successful Tournament Out of Hell show over in Jonathan's neck of the woods in Texas. You can still order that on demand on Title Match Wrestling Network. And of course, like this video, give us a thumbs up, share with all your wrestling fans and friends. The iCard, if you haven't already, you can push that to subscribe, and the bell below that, click all notifications for all the great content right here on Tru Heel Heat. And of course, for you, the viewers, the subscribers, our supporters on social media, we have the Tru Heel Roll Call. And this might be a triumphant time. I'm sorry that he couldn't be with us on this episode, but we have to go first off with our top 3 conversation starters, our Tru Heel Trinity. Coming in at number 3 is our Gino Bismone. Coming in at number 2 is the New Japan aficionado James Wynn. And coming in at number 1, we are officially hanging up his jersey because he has made it to Tru Heel Heat 100, the Negro Buck, Nick Jackson. He will no longer be included in the roll call. He is retired. He is our first retired jersey of the Tru Heel Trinity, the conversation starters. I know he's still going to probably be number 1, but we have to retire his jersey and show some love to other Tru Heel supporters. But we thank you, Nick Jackson, for all the support on social media. Krssi, any comments for the Negro Buck?
No, I'm sad that he couldn't be with us, but it's all love. He knows that. He can join us whenever he's ready. But yes, we'll I'm sure we'll still see him regardless, anyways. But it has to be a first, and who not to be the first but him. I'm happy that he's the first.
Absolutely, his streak will live on in infamy. But we ended it before Brock Lesnar can. So
Right.
we hang his jersey up in the sky. Tru Heels, we got to shout out DeAndre, Cherry, Edmund, Alfredo, Jeremy, Alexander, Erica, aka E-Killa on Twitter, and Lake316. YouTube subscriber highlight, it's the one, the only, Nick Jackson, in the comments section on Tru Heel Heat 99. He said, great stuff as always, y'all. Full Gear has all the potential to be the best pay-per-view of the year. AEW set the bar very high with Revolution back in February. Let's see if they can outdo themselves tonight. Michael Murray commented on Full Gear Roundtable. He says, I think I was accepting of the Elite Deletion because I really thought it would wrap it up. If that is the case, then that's okay. My fear go for it again, I'm not sure that would be a good idea. And of course, the king of the comments section, Kayfabe Tactics, said on our True Rewind episode 28, one of my favorite wrestling related content on the internet right now. I'm so happy when this gets uploaded. Thank you so much, Kayfabe Tactics. We always enjoy you in the comment section. But speaking of Full Gear, that is how we start things off with our two guests here with AEW Full Gear 2020. In my eyes, definitely a top 5 major show in professional wrestling for this year for sure. We got to start things off with talking about one of the best tag team matches of the year and possibly of the past decade, as it was the Young Bucks defeating FTR to win the AEW Tag Team Championships. I will start with you, Jonathan. Your thoughts on this match and the outcome with the Young Bucks winning the AEW Tag Team titles for the first time in the promotion they created.
Honestly, coming into it, I was a little bit low, but I think part of that is because we've been waiting for this for such a long time. I don't think anything would have lived up to what I wanted it to. The match is a whole different story. I thought it was funny, though, for the match, they kind of threw away the entire build of the Young Bucks being these little aggressive heels and whatever, and they just abandoned and rebooted in the middle of the match, and now the match is about these two tag teams who love tag team wrestling. So, ignoring that, the match was absolutely amazing. Probably top 5 tag matches of the decade. Well, I wouldn't put it at the top because there were quite a few crazy tag matches this decade, but it's up there. It's absolutely up there. As for Full Gear being one of the best shows of the year, that's almost not fair. There's nothing else, and I try hard not to compare it to like this stuff before the pandemic because you had Revolution was absolutely amazing. I don't think it's fair to compare Revolution to Full Gear because they're two completely different environments. But love the tag match. Love everything about it.
Yeah, I like it. When people were saying this was the best AEW pay-per-view, I just think that people had short-term memory. I know February 2020 was like 20 years ago, but I still remember it. And that crowd, the match with the Hangman and Omega versus the Young Bucks, that's the greatest tag team match I've ever seen. Like, I have no question. I have some question if this is possibly one of the best of the decade, but I had no question about that one. So I agree with you there. It's hard to compare the two. Josh, what was your thoughts on this matchup and the outcome?
Honestly, I thought it lived up to the hype. Like all the build that they've had for all these years, I thought it really lived up to that. I know a lot of people who did, they were complaining a lot about like the build up to it. I mean, I had no problems with it, to be honest, because I knew they were going to deliver in the match anyway. So like it really didn't matter when it came to that. But I mean, besides that, I mean, it's one of the few matches that you could say it really lived up to that, like something that you've been waiting for years, and then to finally get it, I think it really lived up to that.
That's a fair assessment as well. Krssi Love, what was your thoughts on this tag team match?
We were going back and forth because we said the build up for it got lost in the shuffle, but boy did they deliver once it came out to do what they were supposed to do. Great match between the two. Great storytelling, I want to say, because me personally, I wasn't really like excited because of the build-up per se. I knew it was going to be a good match, but the build-up alone had me like, okay, it's another match we're just waiting for them. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. Didn't think that the Bucks would have won since FTR just recently got it not too long ago. But the feud, I don't think the feud is over. I think it'll still be going on. So I'm excited about that. I'm happy that they delivered a good match.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that this would have been a 5-star match if the build was better, for sure. But I just love the story, the beautiful love letter to tag team wrestling with all the old tag team moves from the Steiners to the Hart Foundation, the battle of ideologies, fists, no flips, all fists versus flippy wrestling, and then it was FTR who had to pull something out of their hat and pulled out the 450, and then the Young Bucks. I know Top Guy JJ, he had his thoughts on the Full Gear roundtable, being upset at the finish, but the finish made sense because the Young Bucks couldn't win with just a fist, but they pretty much did by not having a boot on his foot. That's basically the same as a fist hitting the FTR for the victory. You have another thought, John?
Yeah, a lot of people were complaining that FTR took the loss because it feels a little early. I kind of don't agree with that. I feel like they ran through almost the entire tag division before they got here.
Yeah.
It doesn't get much stronger than that. And the L right here is not going to kill the team at all. I just wanted to put that out there.
What else we saw on Full Gear? Darby Allin defeated Cody Rhodes to win the TNT Championship in a great storytelling matchup. We had Kenny Omega defeat Hangman Page to become the #1 contender for the AEW World Title in a high impact opener. Don Callis of the aforementioned Impact Wrestling appeared on commentary during that match. Jon Moxley defeated Eddie Kingston in an I Quit match to successfully defend the AEW World Title, and Matt Hardy defeated Sammy Guevara in the Elite Deletion match. Any other thoughts from you gentlemen on Full Gear? John?
Honestly, I'm more excited for what's coming next. It looks like the episode after Full Gear, we had a soft reboot, and it's time to build to the next show. We got new graphics and everything. So yeah, FTR being gone into Revolution is perfect. I'd love to see some space here between the Young Bucks and what they're going to do next. It looks like they're going to be putting over some young people next week. So we'll see.
Yes, that's for sure going to be a good one next week. Josh?
All I'm going to say is that I just want people to stop comparing Cody to Triple H at this point.
What? First of all, why?
The 30-minute weekly entry is that's where the fucking comparison comes from. If he would just ditch the every fucking week.
Yeah, that's the problem. Because for me, like everyone sees it as, oh, Cody's the booker, so Cody's constantly winning matches, putting himself over. When if you actually think about it, Cody's putting everyone else over. If it wasn't for Cody, freaking Ricky Starks wouldn't have gotten a contract. Eddie Kingston wouldn't have gotten a contract.
Yes.
And Darby's first match, he put him over. So it was like at this point, I'm like, come on, the comparing Cody to Triple H, I think is ridiculous because I mean we all know Triple H just did nothing but bury people at this point. When Cody is actually putting over talent, is he even giving them opportunities? So I think at this point, I think fans should actually see that aspect more than anything.
Yeah, they just have to be more open-minded about Cody, and it was a long-term plan with Darby Allin, as we saw with the time limit draw, with the 2 losses, and it finally paid off at Full Gear. So I think you guys, expert analysis on Full Gear, gentlemen. John, please tell the people where they can find you on social media or your podcast platform, Dirt Sheet Radio, everything else that you're doing, sir.
You can always find me at Dirt Sheet Radio right on Facebook. That's the only place I'm at right now. Twitter's weird to navigate. You can find me on. You can find the podcast on Spotify, iTunes, everywhere podcasts are available. We're available every Tuesday. We've got 6 episodes out now, but you can always find us. Just look for us.
Still waiting for my invite. I know it's probably lost in the mail, COVID. Josh?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram on jam321.
Thank you, good gentlemen. We appreciate you guys coming on Tru Heel Heat 100. And I know this will not be the final time you guys are guests on the show. Thank you so much, guys. All right, guys. We had to touch on very quickly New Japan Pro Wrestling Power Struggle 2020. So out went Josh and John, and in comes our New Japan aficionado himself, the expert on New Japan, past, present, and future, the host of J News Japan, J News. J News has also been a guest host on Tru Heel Heat prior to Krssi Love getting her free agent acquisition. Good brother, welcome back to the show. It's been a long time.
What's going on, y'all? Can y'all hear me?
Yes, I hear you fine. You're good. You're good, sir. I know you are busy, but we had to get you on very quickly to talk about New Japan Pro Wrestling Power Struggle. At Power Struggle, it was Switchblade Jay White defeating Kota Ibushi to become the first man to beat the G1 Climax winner for the right to challenge briefcase. We also saw Naito defeat Evil to successfully defend the IWGP Dual Gold, and it will now be Naito versus Ibushi on January 4th, with the winner facing Switchblade on January 5th. Shingo defeated Suzuki to win the Never Openweight Championship, and Okada beat Great Okan to set up a Wrestle Kingdom 15 match with Will Ospreay. Jay News, you weren't on our roundtable. Give us your thoughts on Power Struggle.
So Ibushi, Jay White, right? I didn't expect that finish. Fuck Jay White for that, by the way.
Hello.
I mean, at the end of the day, we spoke about this. Me and Sid did at least, and I said Ibushi's got to win the championship. Now, it's set up for that to be the case on January 4th because Ibushi gets his match versus Naito, right? So if Ibushi wins, he's the champ. He goes on to January 5th. He whoops Jay White's ass. Ibushi gets the coronation with the confetti and everything else. So it's in line. It's in line. I just didn't like the fact that they had to introduce Jay White. The heel factor of it makes it great for the character aspect of everything, which I did. But it was just one of those moments where I was like, God damn it, not again, not another hurdle for Ibushi. Because God damn that right there, I didn't even know what to say about that. Great Okan versus Okada. I mean, really? Do we have to talk about that match?
No, we don't.
So, it happened. It went as it was supposed to go. I like Will's new character. His flavor of Ric Flair-esque. Fancy shoes, the fancy watch. You know what I'm saying?
The bubbly.
Correct, bubbly. The $3,000 suit. That was terrific to see. So that was cool. So Okada versus Ospreay at Wrestle Kingdom is gonna be good. Shingo versus Suzuki, solid match yet again. All the physical violence we wanted to see. I didn't think Shingo was gonna win the belt though. So that was surprising to me. So I guess I'm not too sure what they want to do with Suzuki now per se. But Shingo's been that best bout machine for New Japan the last year or so. So to give him that never open weight strap back and have him, go into matches with several other competitors, I think is going to be a good thing for the company. And the other matches I'm forgetting off top. What am I forgetting, Sid? Run that down again.
Naito and Evil.
Do we have to talk about that?
No, not really. What's your thoughts on the new Wrestle Kingdom main events to wrap things up?
So the three matches that got announced. So we have obviously Okada versus Ospreay. So we talked about that. We have Naito and Ibushi on night one, January 4th. Jay White faces the winner on January 5th. And who else has a match? There's another match that was announced.
It's too much to think of. I can't. My head hurt.
It's Ospreay versus Okada on January 4th.
Right.
Naito versus Ibushi, and the winner versus Switchblade on January 5th.
That was it. All right. So yeah, that's it so far. I have to break down World Tag League tonight, so I will do that. I'll upload the video. I already ran down the box.
We're gonna have a preview of that. I gotta ask Krssi Love because Krssi Love was successful. She predicted Ibushi to win the G1, so she's
nice.
on. And we popped her G1 cherry.
Hey, there you go. That's a necessity in life.
J News.
I hope to one day be able to go.
Yes, that is the plan. That is the plan. I think as a team, as a group, we should all make it.
I think we would have a phenomenal time. I would love to do that. If we can put it on our bucket list, maybe within the next 2 years, we can do that.
That's a great experience we got to do as a team. J News, tell them where they can find you to wrap things up.
On Instagram, _JONJAY, that's _John J. You can always find me here on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel. J News Japan Weekly. Tomorrow, Friday night, I'll be recording another one of those episodes of New Japan Strong. And I'll catch everybody up on who's in the World Tag League. I did my Boss J and Super J Cup stuff, so that should be coming up. Chris got to edit that or whatever the case is. But yeah, man, good stuff as always. A pleasure to be on Tru Heel Heat episode 100. I'm halfway there myself. So,
exactly.
You know.
Making your way up. You're catching up, sir. Thank you so much for joining us, good brother. I know you got to get back to what you're doing, but thank you for joining us on Tru Heel Heat 100.
No problem. One more thing I want to mention.
Yes.
I am a good brother for a reason. And Sid, I think you might know where I'm going with this. So there is a Mania 2 happening sometime soon. For those of us who watch Talk and Shop and listen to Talk and Shop Mania 2 is coming, the worst pay-per-view of all time. Folks.
We were going to bring it up. Don't worry. We got you. We talk about it all here on Tru Heel Heat. You already know. Thank you, sir. All right. We had to get J News out, and now we got two more good brothers in. These two are honestly two of my favorite guests. I know I say that a lot, but one of them is my favorite heel wrestler in the game today, and one of them is my favorite wrestling promoter. I will start off first with the promoter of Battle Club Pro. He was on our Tru Heels Awards for 2019. He joined me as my very special guest. He was like Billy Crystal to my Robin Williams. He is Joakim Morales.
Woo!
Well, this is 100, right? Congratulations for that.
Yeah.
That's great. And before the bickering starts, I need to correct you on something. He's not your favorite heel wrestler. He's the best heel wrestler not signed on any major promotion right now.
Hey, you're not leaving me much to introduce him. Like, you're God, that was like the prelude to my intro. But yes, he is one of the very best wrestlers unsigned in the world, regardless of babyface, heel, black, white, Spanish, an animal. It doesn't matter. This man right here, I wrote about him in Sportskeeda as the 5 indie wrestlers that WWE needs to sign, but AEW, Impact Wrestling, whoever he will listen to, you need to pull out the checkbooks and sign this man right here. He is the Warriors of Wrestling heavyweight champion of the world, the richest prize in professional wrestling, Mr. Darius Carter.
Thank you. Salutations, always in style, always styling and profiling with flair. Okay. Thank you for the kind introductions. And I like how you said before the bickering starts, because our discussions are always passionate. And that's what makes this all so great, is because it's always with passion, it's always with ambition. We're always, it's not coming from any place from, our hearts and our minds. So it's great to be here. Thanks for having me back, and congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You were on Tru Heel Heat 70 with us, one of our first of the pandemic era. So you started us off on a bang. So we appreciate you coming back 30 episodes later. But gentlemen, before I get into, what else we missed, we've already talked about AEW Full Gear. We already talked about New Japan Pro Wrestling. I do want to chat a little bit about SmackDown with Darius, but Joakim, Darius, big news in the Battle Club Pro world. As recent, the first ever BCP Franchise Champion, Anthony Bowens, he has gone to the big time. We talked about it on Tru Heel Heat 99. He is now All Elite. Signing with him along with Masscaster, the Acclaimed, are signed with AEW. And he made an announcement before that he was relinquishing the Battle Club Pro Franchise Championship. So has it in a state of flux right now. So I'm going to go to you first, Joakim. What is the current title situation? I know you put out a tweet, and I saw a lot of people tagging Darius Carter. I didn't ticket them because I already said I am the captain of the Darius Carter bandwagon. I collect the tickets, and I'm like, you got to get to the back of the bus. I'm Rosa Parking a lot of people, but Joakim, what is your thoughts on this whole title situation?
So yeah, like Bowen said in his his farewell, I guess, is we're gonna have a tournament. So here you got some breaking news on episode 100. Field of 16, 8 men, women, and non-binary. And I mean, because he's here, I might as well say the first entrant is wrestling's richest prize, Darius Carter.
Of course, I am. You know, we'll get into it a little bit more about this whole tournament and the fact that it shouldn't even exist. But let's continue on to naming. You know, doing whatever you want to do. You know.
Well, you can't deny his record. It is very prestigious, especially in Battle Club. The other thing, and I want to say most important thing, is that Darius is one of the pillars of Battle Club. He's been there since day one, always willing to do whatever we ask of him, even if he has a snide remark here and there when it comes to what it is we need from him. But yeah, like T'Challa said, freebies, we don't do that here.
Oh, here we go. You know, it's like, you know what I mean? It's just, that wasn't even necessary. Here's the thing is, I've never wanted freebies in my life. I've never been a freebie guy. And anybody who knows me knows that. I in no way, I don't want things easy. Okay. That's not what this is about. Okay. But what I'm saying here is that I have earned it. What I'm saying here is that the record dictates the pace. And the pace is in favor of Darius Carter. Let's look at it. Nobody has won more matches in Battle Club than me. And we're not just talking about, just wrestling anybody. I've wrestled some of the best on the scene today. I've wrestled and defeated in a Battle Club ring the likes of Desmond Xavier, okay, Impact. Jordan Grace, Impact. Jimmy Havoc, AEW. EC3, Ring of Honor. Alone, we're just talking about my record, the Darius Lockhart, okay, one of the best professional wrestlers out there today. Darius versus Darius, the only promotion that had the wherewithal to book that match, and we did it, and I won. I've won main events. I've only been pinned one time in a Battle Club ring, and the only person that pinned me was someone I already beat before in Jordan Grace, and that was after interference from Matt McIntosh. So to me, there's no who's the top guy at Battle Club, okay? I wear the badge. I do it every day, okay? I wear it every day proudly because Battle Club is, and this is where Joe does get his respect, because to me, he is a top flight promoter because he is booking the most talented, not based off of X, Y, or Z, not because of personal opinion, not about like or dislike, but he's getting some of the best wrestlers to come under one roof. He was doing this on a monthly or semi-monthly basis. So that respect is going to be there. He brought Jimmy Havoc there for me to be able to wrestle him. He brought these talented professional wrestlers there for me to wrestle them. But how do you think he picked me? He knew that I was the one for the job. He knew that I would be able to deliver in the ring. Pete Dunne, okay, WWE UK champion at the time, the longest reigning. He chose me to represent the company. He chose me each and every time, and I did so with, whether people want to admit it or not, flying colors. So to me, the tournament almost undermines my significance because it's almost saying to me like, hey, thanks for carrying the company. Here's, another 15 opponents that you have to go through to get the championship. That's how I view it. I view it. See, whereas you may look at it as a handout, I look at it as another hurdle, another obstacle that I have to overcome when I continue to overcome again and again. And I get it. It's very easy to fall in love with these other faces that are around here. And it's like, let's make this guy the company guy. Let's make that guy the company guy. Anthony Bowens, listen, I have respect for the man, okay? The man, I did a best of 5 series with him at another company, okay? Him and I, that's something you don't really hear of these days. To wrestle 5 matches and to wrestle 5 matches completely differently. Anthony Bowens is one of the best in the game, and I'm glad that he got signed. But in all due respect to Bowens wasn't even the best choice at the time to lead the company, okay? That choice should have been me. I should have had that match. I should have had that championship. I don't even agree that 5-way should have happened to begin with, and it happened, and then Bowens won. So now what happens in this tournament where anything can happen? Now, let's say for some reason something happens and I'm not the one who gets the championship. Now I got to go through all these hoops again. Again. It's more obstacles. When do the obstacles end? When does Darius Carter get his genuine thank you and not his let's come on a podcast, put you over in the opening, and then, by the way, there's a tournament that you have to compete in, but you're the best. I'm telling you, you're the best, but yeah, here's another tournament you have to go through. When does that end? That's my question directly to you, Joe. Actually, while we're on this podcast, let's put you on the hot seat, right? When does it end for me?
There's no hot seat when I enjoy the fire.
Huh.
It's a spicy my drink.
Here we go. Okay. Every year, there's a sports team with the best record. How often does that sports team win the championship?
The Lakers won. And they didn't.
Year, and that was due to a pandemic.
Hey, I'm just
trying to say.
I'm just a moderator here. He's the number 1 seed. He should have home court advantage at least.
He does. I named him as the first person in it. He has home field advantage. If he said he bleeds Battle Club Pro just like Bowens did, right? So being in a Battle Club ring is his hometown advantage. Now, if he wants to pick his opponent, when I get the field of the 15 others, he can. I'll give him that. But I'm not going to hand him anything. Why am I not going to hand you anything? When your boss knows that you can provide every single time, why would I shortchange myself of that excellent work? Why would I keep the fans from seeing you beat opponent after opponent after opponent to prove you're the best?
Well,
now,
okay.
I'm not done. I gave you yours. Give me mine.
Okay, fair.
You have always delivered. And we're going to pull back the curtains a bit. For how long? When we announced done in May, and it happened in August. Before we announced done, was I not pushing for you to be the man to face him?
You were. I didn't know if I could answer. Yes, you were.
So, of course you could answer. So here's the thing. I love what he does. To sit there and tell me to mail you the championship belt because you're the best, it's a shortcut. DC doesn't do shortcuts. You might have your little tidbits in the ring. You chop an opponent down, and you focus on a body part.
Don't even do that. You were doing fine. You were doing fine. Don't even talk about me in the ring.
Still doing fine. If you're wrestling's richest prize, continue to prove it.
This is what I mean. It's like continue. I prove it every day, and I would prove it even more as a champion. So I get what you're saying, and I understand what you're saying. I do, and you have a viewpoint. I understand that because you have to you have a bunch of eggs, and you have different eggs in different baskets, right? That's your thing. But that's the problem right now is you don't need your eggs in different baskets. You need them in one, and then those will branch off, okay? It starts with me, and everything else will vessel out. And that's just the way that it is. I don't make it this way, all right? I do it every single time I step into that ring, no matter who you put me against, no matter what the situation is. Hey, Darius, there's a 5-man match. And you say, okay, well, sometimes Darius will make a snide remark. I always go along with whatever is asked of me. And sometimes I will make a remark because how I feel needs to be known. I'm not just going to be a doormat. I'm not just going to be a yes man. I'll do anything that is written on paper asked of me to do. But if it's something that I do not agree with, I'm going to make that statement very clear. I'm not saying that I should be given anything. I'm saying that it's rightfully due to me. Why can't we give me the championship and name a top caliber opponent against me that night? Why can't we get me in there against, you want to talk about one of those 15 opponents? How about you crown me champion, you coronate me champion, you consult with me as your guy, okay? You consult with me which of the 15 I want to face. I'll face that one, and then you give yourself a little tournament, a number one contenders tournament to who faces me. That, to me, is logical business. Darius Carter against, I don't know, Dan Garcia. Darius Carter against Dominic Guarini. Darius Carter against Matt Makovsky. Darius Carter against all of these people with the championship on the line. And also, here's a number one contenders tournament to show how much we care about the title. We're not just going to be a place that has month-in random opponents facing for the title. Here's how we establish the heavyweight championship rankings. Here are 16 competitors, okay? Your winner is your number one contender, and whoever gets beat, whoever gets beat out of the tournament first, those are the lowest rankings up to the highest rankings. I've just done your job for you. I've just established your promotion for you. Meanwhile, Darius Carter gets the rightful position of being champion. I wasn't pinned in that 5-way. Like I said, I was only pinned one time in a Battle Club ring. Okay, and that's again against someone I beat in a Battle Club ring. So we're tied. So that rubs itself out right there. So to me, it's like again, Darius, and that's that's the thing, Joe, is you've been very, very supportive of me. You've been very, very a positive influence on me in my life and my career. I'm not going to lie to you. You get that respect. But you also are kind of like everyone else because you make me go through all these obstacles like everyone else. And it's like, I'm looking, where's that one person that says, Darius, you know what? You are the guy, and actually treat me like the guy. Instead of, Darius, you are the guy, but here's another obstacle, and here's another shiny toy that's going to distract me for a month, and here's another obstacle. That's all I'm saying to you. I've made it very clear. I'm not asking for a handout. I'm not saying you're giving me a title and I've done nothing to earn it. What I'm saying is I earned my way to the point of being coronated this champion, something nobody else on the roster can say. Nobody else can say they've done what I've done at Battle Club. The closest is McIntosh, but he's a little inconsistent, doesn't always get the win, kind of doesn't care about being champion. So that's what you have. That's your story right there. That's it. That's the story. Headlined, right in the newspaper, put your quarter in. It's at the edge. It's at the corner of the street right there. Pop the quarter in when you're waiting for the bus. Pop it open, cross your legs, okay, and read the article. My face is on it. I'm the center article. It's just the way it is, period.
That's really great, but that's not how it happens in real life, buddy. If you are the man, you're going to do what it takes to continue to show you are the man. And you have been excellent in every single obstacle I've given you, except when you were in that match, you didn't win it. You didn't win it. You didn't win it.
We're gonna have to leave it there, gentlemen. But thank you. That is huge news. Darius Carter will be in the field of 16 to determine the next Battle Club Pro Franchise Champion. Joakim, I know you have to run. Anything you want to plug before you leave us?
Yeah. Just simply put, I appreciate all the support from you guys. I'm very proud of you guys. I've told you on a personal level, like, your star, all the hard work you do, your team, it's great. It's awesome to see because you give people like DC a platform to speak and not only speak the way he does so eloquently, but actually be justified in using his vernacular because anybody can do a podcast and here we go, there's 20 minutes of talking and nothing has been said. But when you're on Tru Heel Heat, it's legitimate. You speak, those words are heard, those fans understand. So congrats to you guys. Love you guys. We'll continue to have the partnership, the friendship, the sponsorship, the family ties. DC, I'll be pulling for you, brother, man, because you are the man. I just, and just to clear one thing up, there will be no randoms. Everyone who will be in this tournament has been in a Battle Club ring already. For the most part, they'll be pillars.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. Actually, that is respectful because now I know there's nobody that's in the tournament that I don't know. So that actually changes things a little bit. Like I said, listen, there's nothing I can do. Okay, I'm not going to marinate on this. I've said my piece. I've explained how I feel. I am right, but if I have to do this again and go through another obstacle, I will. But whatever happens, Joe, whatever I have to do to get there, the measures that I do have to take, that's not on me. That is on you. So I do want you to know that that's on your conscience. And I don't want to hear anything about any of the other wrestlers like, it is what it is.
I want that on my conscience. Why? Because I know you can do it.
Okay.
I want you to show me because all you've ever done is show me. But I'm not gifting anything. I'm not. I'm not. You have earned that spot where you can say you're the top guy because no one can touch your record. I will never deny you that. I have never denied you that. I have been, this is, you want to break kayfabe, right? I've been at other promotions giving you standing ovations because you're the fucking man. But don't ask me to mail you something when I know you can earn it. When I know that Sid knows, that Crystal knows, that you guys, along with myself, have been put in a position to not succeed, and you've succeeded every single time.
Okay, you know what? And that's, again, I want to get back to thanking you. I appreciate you, Joe. I don't want you to think in any capacity that I don't think that you're grade A. I don't think you're top caliber. But that's why I try to hold you to these standards, because there are things that you can do that other promoters cannot do. You have the vision, the clarity to see past this. Right now, I understand the pandemic may have an effect on you and you're not thinking clearly. You have a household that you have to take care of. You have people in your life that you need to look after. Honestly, Joe, I'm going to tell you all the truth. I have Darius Carter, and Darius Carter to look after. Okay, I don't have the wife. I don't have the children to hold me back. I have my own ambitions that I need to have. And that's it. I have a mantle that I come home to every night with 15 different career championships that I've won over my 11 years. Yes, 15. Okay, and I look at that mantle every day, not just as a sign of arrogance, but as a sign of ego. Not as any of that, but as a sign of, Darius, you did it. Darius, you came this far on your own merit. I'm sorry. Darius Carter, you got yourself into the PWI 500, 337, representing Warriors of Wrestling, representing Battle Club, represent BCW. Okay, I represent Battle Club without the championship to show for it. So wouldn't it have looked good for you, Joe, for me to rank 337 as the Battle Club Pro Wrestling Champion? But who am I to say, because now Bowens has an AEW contract. So what do I know, right? What does Darius Carter know other than what I come home to every day, which is that mantle, which are those successes and accolades that I have built for myself. So you know what? Let's do it. Let's do the tournament, Joe. Let's do what you want to do, because that's always what it's going to be, is what you want to do. And I respect that in a way, because you're a promoter and you're a respected promoter and you know what you're doing. You actually have your finger ahead of the pulse. You were using people before other people were using people, and now a lot of them are on TV. So I give you that respect. You deserve that respect. This is Tru Heel Heat. You deserve that heat, that fire. But at the very same token, I will not be stepped over just because someone else looks like they're getting a contract, just because someone else has a friend in a high place that can make that call for them to get a contract. I don't have that. I don't have coattails to ride. I don't have a promotion to ride on. I came in on BWO. That promotion went defunct 5-6 years ago. So I don't have a promotion to lean on. I don't have friends to hire or executives in big wig promotions in this business to get me hired. I have to do it myself. So maybe your tournament will get me there. Maybe that tournament is what will get me there. Because you know what? You don't know what you got until it's gone, Joe. So if you want to sit here and do this and play this game of I have to earn, well, let's hope that I earn that championship before someone else earns my signature. How does that sound?
That sounds excellent, because the only thing better than me mailing you that championship is you winning it all, looking me in the face and saying, I told you so. And I said, I'll reply with, I always believed in you.
And we have the verbal contract. Darius gets first right to pick who he versus in the first round.
Yo, what's up? Oh, did I just make it like at the absolute perfect time with the All Father?
Yeah.
Oh, my time is impeccable.
All right, Joakim is out, and in is the co-host who has been with me for 100 episodes. He is the resident Tru Heel alcoholic himself. Happy 100 to Top Guy JJ. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Holy shit, we made it to 100. You had to pull out the monster motherfucking bottle for this bad boy. Oh, man, I'm blessed with the presence of the All-Father on 100. Oh, man, today is just all bittersweet. Hey, boo. You know, there's only one boo. I only say boo to one person.
Hi, Answer. What's up, boo?
Oh man! Oh, this is a great,
Sid got all
great
dressed up.
part where
See, Sid was not thinking about getting all dolled up for today. I don't understand it.
I got one of the greatest professional women's wrestlers and MMA fighters in the world on my
we got
shirt.
the
So.
OG Tru Heel shirt today, baby.
Exactly.
The OGs.
Your shirt is to be decided, okay, Sydney? It's all right.
Oh, you gave me the whole government.
Went
Damn.
full government.
All right,
Full
cool.
government.
Well, we gotta move on while we still have Darius to talk about SmackDown this past week. Speaking of women's wrestling, Sasha Banks successfully defended the SmackDown Women's title in a very fun opener against Bayley. Then Carmella returned and attacked Sasha to set up a next SmackDown Women's title feud. Jey Uso defeated Kevin Owens thanks to our tribal chief Roman Reigns. Rollins and Corbin qualified for Team SmackDown at Survivor Series. Darius, I know you have been a huge supporter of Bayley on your social media, on your Twitter machine. I want to first ask you, what was your thoughts on that Hell in a Cell match, the great match between Sasha and Bayley at that pay-per-view, and then this past week on SmackDown? Not only was it a very fun opener, but it was the highest rated SmackDown segment since March, proving that these two ladies are draws. So, Darius, what was your thoughts?
I actually thought, firstly, let me say, to me, Bayley, PWI got it 100% right this year. And it's not even because of my inclusion. It's actually when you look at all the wrestlers that were ranked, they were just better wrestlers than I feel than it's been before. More eyes on people. And Bayley, is, to me, number one in the world. And I'm talking about all package. Okay, you could always talk about in the ring. You can always go to, there's Mako Satomura, best in the ring. Okay, but to me, the entire package of character, promo, consistency, awareness, it's Bayley. Bayley was the best women's champion for a reason. All of her matches, this woman was getting some programs that were thrown to her quickly, like the WrestleMania program. Here's your 6-way match. And she shined in that match as a performer, as a champion. She carried herself like a champion. Her evolution is one of the best that we've seen. It's like the evolution that we've seen in Randy Orton, the evolution that we have seen in Cody Rhodes in WWE, which was the best Cody Rhodes in my opinion. Those types of, evolutions are what I look forward to. A Triple H who goes from the DX to the game to the corporate, because if you look at their characters, that's what they were going to be. It was all an upward trajectory, if that makes sense. So to me, Bayley is the best overall package. In terms of women. She makes everybody look better that she goes in there with. You could put her in there with anyone. That Hell in a Cell match was tremendous. Obviously Sasha, I feel Sasha is at her best in those types of environments. You know what I mean? And again, who am I to say anything? But if this is a podcast where we're talking, we're talking. I think Sasha is at her best there. I loved the match. The direction is not really my cup of tea, just in terms of I had kind of hoped Bayley would win and then maybe injure Sasha. Sasha stays out until the Rumble.
Yes. We said
Sasha
that.
comes back. Right. Sasha comes back at the Rumble, wins the Rumble, and then faces Bayley. To me, the long-term storytelling there was right there. Yeah. And I'm a little upset that they bit the bullet so quick on it. I'm not the McMahon. So by all means, we're talking about how we feel in an opinion piece. Mm-hmm. To me, Bayley, because you had Bianca Belair right there. They could have done something in between Sasha, but Sasha Sasha could have just been out. If she could have just been out for like 2 months, and I know that it's like, we need Sasha. She's one of our best. I got to have her on TV. I get it. We saw this happen with Dolph Ziggler in the U.S. Championship. When Dolph had to lay down the title, he wanted to take a break. Then he comes back 2-3 weeks later. And it's like, well, what's the point of laying down the title then? Where does my ambition go as a character? And that hurt him for a while, just ambition's sake. You can have great matches, but what does it matter if you're just going to win the title and you might abdicate the throne again? So for me, the story is kind of like, the matches are incredible, and I do believe that the Hell in a Cell performance is what boosted that viewership. I think it's one of those circumstances where the pay-per-view actually benefits the main program, which is genius marketing because it's always the other way around. It's always SmackDown builds to the pay-per-view. But you have to think viewership is higher on the SmackDowns and on the Raws than the pay-per-views. So it's very smart to set up things on a pay-per-view, and sometimes you want to pay them off on a show, depending on which program it is. This program was not that program for me. I get why they did it, and listen, the ratings, it paid off. So again, it's all about what you're going for. But for me, I think the biggest women's match that you could have built to at Mania was Bayley and Sasha. And I think giving them that break, if Bayley, and it would have continued the story of Sasha not winning a Hell in a Cell match. You know, she's 0-3. She lost to the other three in the Horsewomen. To the wrestling 4 Horsewomen. And it's like, well, now Sasha has to explore that character, right? She has to explore herself. That's the Sasha I like. The Sasha that's like arrogant, the boss. I mean, we get that all the time. I kind of wanted, like, Bayley evolved in a way that I don't think Sasha has yet. And I would have liked to see that for Sasha. We all know Sasha's a great wrestler, but character-wise, I feel she's been at a standstill. It's like, you know, and I think that you changed your hair blue. But for me, in all seriousness, like that doubt, her having to look at herself in a mirror, honestly have to look at herself in a mirror would have been entertaining television. That would have given people a chance to connect to her in a different way, where it's like, well, what does make Sasha tick? Yeah, she's the boss.
Figure out why I'm losing this. Why am I losing the Hell in a Cell matches? What's going on with me? Why can't I win?
Right, and why can't I? And even if I do win a title, I can't defend it. So what good am I? And that self-doubt for Sasha, it gets me boiling just thinking about it because I'm like excited. But I would have loved to see that type of character metamorphosis going into the Rumble, going into Mania, to where Bayley is like, look, I've been champion almost 500 days. It doesn't even matter. Yeah, I'm going to beat you. It doesn't even matter. Because even if you do win at WrestleMania, I'll just win it on the SmackDown after. Like, that would have been fun storytelling. And that's how you take a match that we've seen so many times, but make it fresh. There's an art to that. Just like with Cena and Orton. We saw Cena and Orton wrestle, but they were able to make those matches different. We had I Quit matches. We had one of the best, in my opinion, Iron Man matches that we've seen in pro wrestling, which was Orton and John Cena from Breaking Point. That match was, to me, tremendous. You went through the emotional spectrum there. You tried to blow him up with the pyro. Like, that's, you know what I mean? Like, this is, why wouldn't you do that though? If it's an anything goes Iron Man match, if I can kill you, I don't know. Orton was on top of his game. Cena was, in my opinion, like on top of his game there. Those guys were doing different types of matches, and they were all fun. And I just would have liked to see that from the women's division. I don't think, again, I'm not the one booking it, but I just don't see how they can do better than that with what they have right now. I don't want to speak ahead because I don't know the future, but I don't think that anything that they do with the women, that the people they have, can grab me as a viewer the way that Sasha and Bayley at Mania after that long payoff would have been. I would have loved to see just Bayley go wild, and now it's like, wow, like Bayley did it without Sasha. Bayley destroyed. Now Bayley gets everything that she wants, and then that becomes her undoing. You know what I mean? Maybe Sasha was the one that kept Bayley grounded. Now Bayley's ego is what is, we see that go through the roof into Mania, and Sasha wins there, the big tap out, and then we get that moment with Sasha where people are crying, where people are in tears.
She would have got 2 moments at Rumble and then at Mania. So I definitely agree. You have the mind of a booker for sure. Very quickly, Krssi, JJ, we'll start with you, JJ. Your thoughts on Carmella being the next challenger for Sasha?
It's just pretty odd with that. They want. I think what they're doing, and I'm trying to play devil's advocate with the quick nut job that they're trying to do with their booking with WWE and SmackDown. Is they were desperate in the ratings. Like, their ratings were pretty desperate. And they have now this hot program with Roman Reigns where they're trying to draw eyes on. They had the best story in wrestling with Sasha Banks and Bayley. They're trying to increase their viewership to a point of desperation to get eyes on their new packages. So I'm hoping that that's what is to be, because it's working because their ratings are going up on SmackDown. Their ratings are going up substantially, and I think that is a really good thing. I hope that sound is not me. When coming down to that, I do think that Carmella, they're trying to see if this works. They're trying to see if this works with this new version of Carmella. It looks decent. This looks like the thing that they did work out with Emelina. This kind of looks like that to that sense.
Yeah.
I'm not really buying it that much, but I do think that they're trying to establish what we've been calling out in that division forever. That division is basically Sasha and Bayley. So hopefully they get to establish more than the up-and-coming Bianca Belair, which is the obvious choice of the next long-term booker. But hopefully they can establish other women besides them two in the obvious. So,
Krssi?
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Krssi?
I'm not into it. Whatever. I mean, I'm more so in the aspect of what Darius was saying, how the long build-up. But I would have put Bianca as the next obvious choice because you draft her over. She is hot. She's one of the newcomers. She's up and coming. Why not make her and build her up and put her with one of the top people there? You bring Carmella out of the from wherever the hell she was at. I'm not impressed.
Just one quick question. I do think that the WWE has one dud pay-per-view before the Royal Rumble. So they have that December pay-per-view. So Carmella seems to be the obvious fill-in for the December pay-per-view, and then hopefully they move into Bianca for the Rumble.
I think Bianca is probably the odds-on favorite to win the Women's Royal Rumble. Very quick, Darius, who would you say would win the Women's Royal Rumble?
Well, that's just it. I thought Sasha was the shoo-in. I thought it was her time. I thought it was, and Sasha's not, Sasha is great. I see Sasha as a great competitor that just is missing that thing. And that to me is that character. I need to see the evolution. You can be the $1 million man, but you got to evolve. And Ted evolved. When Ted didn't win the WWE Championship, he created his own, which was brilliant. Then it was like he lost his own to his butler, and he was like, "What?" Yeah. Well, he was like, "So let me create a stable." You can be that character and keep that for 10, 20 years if you know the ins and outs of your character. Randy Orton's character has evolved over the years. He's been the Viper for the last 10 years, but he's been different elements of Randy Orton. Right. For me, Sasha, it's like, when do we see that next step for Sasha? And Sasha is supposed to be the good guy, and she's the champion. Well, I would have liked to see her chase that. So, to me, the Rumble would have been easy for her. Now it's a lot more up in the air, which is maybe, I don't know. It could be Bianca, but then, what is it, Bianca and Sasha at Mania? Again, I would have rather seen Bianca and Bayley. So, just for the match quality. Rumble. Yeah, and B, the character direction. I mean, Bayley would have looked like, how can you say you're the best when I've done everything and you've not won a championship? How are you the best? How are you the EST of anything? Bayley's promos, Bianca's promos would have been amazing. Sasha's promos against Bianca, I feel like I know what they're going to be, and it's just kind of like we've seen that Sasha already. Who's going to want to see Sasha really beat Bianca? That's going to be a tough position to put the fans in. Because they're both on the same side of the coin. We've seen Sasha get there. Okay, we've seen her retain the title. Now what's next for Sasha? You know what? We're ready for Bianca now. So I feel like that hurts Sasha in the long run. But again, to each their own. I don't know who wins the Rumble. I guess I'm gonna say Bianca because she's right there. And it's kind of, at this point, it's a little weird if anyone but her wins it, I guess. If you want to get cute, you can, and you want to say your dark horse, you could say Lana. If you want.
Oh my God! No, please, anybody.
That's a real WWE answer right there.
That's the perfect segue because we're gonna talk about Raw with our next guest, Darius. Before we let you go, sir, please tell them where they can find you on social media. And I know you have a big Warriors of Wrestling Heavyweight Championship match coming up.
I do. So you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter / Mr. Darius Carter, MR, and then Darius Carter, Darius. You should know how to spell Carter. It's all there. I make it very easy to access me. I also have a fan page, which is on Facebook. That is Wrestling's Richest Prize. I do some different posts there, try to make it a little unique for that page. But yeah, those are the four main outlets that you can get me on. Warriors of Wrestling is coming up, and that's going to be me against Vinny Pacifico. Vinny Pacifico won the King of New York tournament, which is a tournament they do in New York every year. You get wrestlers from all over. This year we had Rhett Titus in it, who was in Ring of Honor. We brought back Sam Shields, the sensational Sam Shields. From anyone that knows the tri-state area knows him. So they did bring in some people for this. It was a real fun tournament. I saw Vinny win it. Vinny's been on his own little roll. He was on AEW, even if it was for 40 seconds. To each their own. Hashtag couldn't be me, but by all means do that. But listen, again, he has the following, and it's going to be fun because I see our followings coming to a head. There's a lot of anticipation. There's a lot of hype. We've wrestled each other before, but we haven't had a match to this magnitude. We actually wrestled each other in the UK more than we wrestled each other in the States. And I beat him in those matches. So, my track record against him is very good, but I also know that Vinny is better now than he's ever been, and I'm going to give him that credit. So I look forward to that. I look forward to beating him on a global stage, on a big stage, and to retaining the World Heavyweight Championship, and to keep the company on my back. Joakim, I know you're not here, but that's what I do. I carry companies. I have one here. I have one there. I have one here, one around the waist. I hold one like Bockwinkel, like the championship here. That's not stepping on Mark Henry, but that's what I do. So...
This is why we love Darius Carter, our favorite heel wrestler in the world. Thank you, sir. Tru Heel Heat 70, now Tru Heel Heat 100. Thank you for joining us, brother.
Can I just ask one question and you just leave us with an ultimate cliffhanger because it's just curious for me? Takeover Brooklyn or Hell in a Cell? Which one did you like? Simple.
Oh, wow. Hell in a Cell. Just because, and because I got Orton with the title, and listen, wins and losses, I know you're not supposed to care, and you're just supposed to be like, oh, wrestling is whatever, and just enjoy it, but I was genuinely excited to see Orton get the title back, because to me, he is the best pro wrestler in the world. You don't have to love the guy, everyone has their own opinion. To me, top to bottom, promo, the way he delivers his promos, the way he came out on Raw, like he's a man hunted, but he's trying to pretend like he's not. It's tremendous. He came out, he's completely paranoid, but he's the only one that he doesn't see it that way, and it's awesome because he did this to himself, and those are the best type of characters. Now all of a sudden the WWE title picture is so full because you have Orton, you have The Fiend. It's like, oh, that's why he got drafted to Raw. You have Drew, who to me is more interesting as the chaser than the champion. You have Randy Orton is surrounded with The Miz now, which was a great move. Now The Miz, The Miz can win the title at any time because The Miz is just that guy. It's very believable to see him with the briefcase. He is all over USA, the USA Network. He does bring a lot of profits to the company, so it's kind of like they have that red herring there of The Miz. The Raw picture, I'm so excited, and it's all because Orton is the best and everyone around him is elevated. That's just what it is. To me, in my opinion, when you're the best, you should be the champion. Randy Orton's the best, he should be the champion. Bayley is the best, she should be the champion. You build everyone around you until there's someone good enough to take your spot. So again, I'm excited for that. I'm glad to see. That's why I thought Hell in a Cell was great, because Orton got that. That really picked it up for me. I enjoyed the match quality. Sasha and Bayley just tore it up. Orton and Drew actually had an underrated match. I think it's a little underrated. Yeah. But when you think about the match, Orton completely used the cell to his advantage. When Drew started beating him up, he ran to the top. And he's like, well, come on. And of course Drew's going to come up because he doesn't know better. And then, here's the pipe. Orton uses the pipe. And then instead of beating him senseless with the pipe because he knew that Drew could have turned it around on him, then he goes to leave the cell, set Drew up for the big fall. The whole thing was a setup. The match to me looked like Orton knew what he was doing the entire time, and he used his 7 cell matches before then as prior experience. Drew lost not just to Orton, he lost to the match type. And that is the type of storytelling. I feel like the match was underrated because I don't know what people wanted out of it. I don't know if they wanted Orton to get Claymore through the cell and like an explosion. It's never enough for some people. But I thought
called it the unfortunate match. I called it unfortunate because it was in between two classics.
Well, it was after. It was after two classics. Yeah.
And that's what I mean. And I don't think any match on the Hell in a Cell card was really weak. I take over, great pay-per-view. I enjoyed that. The only thing being like the Finn and Kyle match was tremendous, but they both got hurt out of it. We couldn't get that development, so it's kind of like the momentum got stifled. You know what I mean? And that's not the pay-per-view's fault. That's just what happens when you go out there and decide to drop bombs on your opponent with very little regard for yourself. Neither person was able to fully come out of that with their full story because of injury. So whereas Hell in a Cell, we were able to literally change. We saw the dynamics of Raw and SmackDown change from Hell in a Cell. A pay-per-view is as good as what happens after as well. The pay-per-view is a building point. You build to it, and then what happens after. That's how good a pay-per-view. You look back to a pay-per-view, Hell in a Cell 2020, that was a great pay-per-view because we saw the company go through that pay-per-view. As opposed to, TakeOver was a great pay-per-view in its own right, but what came out of it?
Yeah.
So that's my argument.
Thank you once again, Darius, for joining us. And I know for sure we will be inviting you back on because you are a passionate professional wrestling fan as well as one of the best wrestlers in the world. Thank you,
I need to see the All-Father on pay-per-views very soon. I need the All-Father on my pay-per-view screen.
Everybody that did right by me and looked out for me on the way that you did, in all seriousness, to write that article and to have me in a top 5 spot, let alone a top 2 spot, means the world. You have so many options. You don't owe anything to me. So for you to have put me on like that, Krssi, for you to put me on, JJ, for you to put me on, you don't have to, and that does mean a lot to me. Anybody that supports me is going to... That never goes forgotten. And the ones that did it, when they try to jump on, you'll see how I treat them. And it'll make you feel better about yourselves. You'll see what happens when they try to jump on, because they will leave. Oh, congrats. Oh, yeah.
No, I just got goosebumps. I'm just letting you know right now.
That should just made me finish my drink.
I got it myself. Lord have mercy on the souls that try to hop on the bandwagon when the wagon is already hitched. So thank you all for believing in me before that even happened. So, I wish y'all the best. Thank you. And I hope to be on whenever y'all can have me.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man.
Bye, Mr. Carter. See you later.
Take care, brother.
Right. Be well.
So Darius is out. Thank him once again for joining us on Tru Heel Heat 100, and we bring back another very special guest that we had on, I believe, in the 50s, in our 50s, in our Tru Heel Studios era. He is the host of the Richie Moon Show, one of the best podcasts interviewing folks from all different walks of life. This man is multi-talented. He's a passionate professional wrestling fan as well. He is Mr. Richie Moon. Thank you for joining us on Tru Heel Heat 100.
Thank you for the amazing intro, man. Thank you. These, when I do this is my Cody hands. Cody hands.
The pandering hands.
Yeah.
And I think he was on the last one before pandemic hit.
Dude, that was the last
one. I believe you guys had one before that, but yeah. He was on one of our very last episodes of Tru Heel Heat before the whole global pandemic. How have you been doing, sir?
Yo, man, I've been good, man. Staying very creative. Trying to keep it banging, clanging. It's been good, man. I've been good, man. Just keeping the wheel spinning, man. Keeping the wheel spinning.
That's good to hear, sir. So you're joining us on what we missed, and what we missed was Monday Night Raw. On this week's Monday Night Raw, we had Drew McIntyre and the New Day defeat Orton, Miz, and Morrison. McIntyre will versus Orton for the WWE Championship. It was made official for next week's Raw, as well as the Hurt Business versus the New Day for the Raw Tag Team titles. We also saw Ali defeat Ricochet in a really good matchup. Riddle became... Absolutely. Riddle became the last member of Team Raw after beating Jeff Hardy and Elias, and Riddle and Lee defeated Sheamus and Braun in a preview of Team Raw, and of course, Lana went through a table for the 8th time in 9 weeks.
It was 8, okay.
Yes.
Like, what is it? Is it 8 or 9? Okay, it is 8.
Yes, she's the Kenny from South Park of Monday Night Raw. So what is your thoughts? We got the thoughts of Darius on Orton as WWE Champion, but what's your thoughts on the next matchup between Drew and Randy for next week's Raw, Richie?
Well, this is obviously something that was going to eventually happen. I'm not sure what the story is going on for Survivor Series. I wish they would have waited till after Survivor Series to do this match, because it just, like I said, we knew that this was going to happen, but it kind of just seems like, hey, you know what? We need something to do for our golden angle. Drew, Randy, you got a title match. I wish they would have. They've been building it, but I just wish they would have waited till after Survivor Series, because it's supposed to be Randy versus Roman. There's really been no heat, so maybe it's going to be Drew versus Roman. So I just kind of wish they would have waited, but maybe this is the direction. Maybe we can let this play out and see if they have a bigger story to tell. But I feel, honestly, that they were kind of just like, yeah, Drew versus RKO next week. Yeah, do it.
Mm-hmm.
Felt kind of rushed for sure. Krssi, who do you think is going to win Hurt Business versus New Day for the Raw Tag Team titles?
Well, New Day is definitely going to keep them. They want to see them go against the Street Profits. Duh.
But it's a babyface versus babyface. So, what do you think? Do you think New Day still winning?
Faces though?
Yeah, they're all babyfaces for sure. There's no question about New Day and Street Profits being babyfaces.
No, that's New Day. Yeah, that's babyface. I'm talking about Hurt. But
no, Hurt Business is not. That's what I'm saying. Do you still think New Day's gonna win because it would be babyface versus babyface?
Yeah, because I think they're gonna elevate the Street Profits.
Okay. That is fair.
I think that's the fairness in the two meeting up. You have old team, let's say veterans versus the freshmen or the sophomores in the game right now. So let's build them up and let's have the Street Profits go over and beat them.
Very, very fair assessment. Richie, what's your thoughts on the whole Team Raw now that it is official? It's AJ Styles, Riddle, Keith Lee, Sheamus, and Braun Strowman going into Survivor Series. And what's your thoughts on the Survivor Series build?
The Survivor Series build is always mad. Because it's just, you have Raw and SmackDown, everybody's rivaling with each other and programming with each other, and then all of a sudden the alarm goes off that nobody hears, and it's just like, oh no, Raw, we got to be teammates, and in Survivor Series we got to be teammates, and then we got to go against them. It's just, WWE, they missed key opportunities. They could have started building last month. They could have started planting these little seeds last month, and I just wish they would give these some stakes, like Raw wins, you guys get the last 5 in Royal Rumble or something like that. That's my biggest issue with it. Is just like, we just happen to get to this time of year where Raw and SmackDown go head-to-head competition one time a year. It's just like, dude, put some stakes on it. Mean something instead of just, we do this thing one time a year. But as far as the teams itself, the teams are awesome. The teams are going to be awesome. A lot of man-meat. It's going to be a lot of... But I just wish it had some meaning to it. That's all. I wish it had some meaning to it.
It's a whole bunch of horses, but I do have to say, Richie, you analyze Raw very, very well. We don't even have anyone who covers Monday Night Raw anymore on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, but you do it very well, sir.
I appreciate that, man. And I don't want to glow. I probably give myself a little Tommaso Ciampa pat on the back for that. I heard through the wrestling airlines, I heard a little rumor that SP3 that you wanted me to join Tru Heel Heat.
I mean, are you trying to say that you want to join Tru Heel Heat?
I'm just saying, saying I just heard through a little birdie that you wanted me to join Tru Heel Heat.
You know, I've seen him keep posting a lot lately on our page, just saying, friend, a lot and lot more. I mean, I don't know what that means, but sir, I'll ask you if you want me to. Fuck that.
I don't know, but I think he's trying to ask us if he wants to be on Tru Heel Heat. I think he wants to be on Tru Heel Heat.
I think you guys are trying to ask me, do I want to be a part of Tru Heel Heat? I feel like that's the kind of sense. You know, I feel like we're getting a little repetitive. We're getting a little repetitive here. We're getting a little repetitive.
Yes.
Well. We have Survivor Series coming up. How about this? Let's try you out. Join us for our Survivor Series roundtable, sir.
There you go. Yep.
That's your tryout. Your Cody hands. You can get hyped. Get hyped. Bring the Cody hands. Join us on the Survivor Series pay-per-view roundtable, sir. The final thing that we missed before we get into our top news is Impact Wrestling. We have the final hype for Turning Point. Carl Anderson and Josh Alexander, they got to a DQ to build up the tag team title match at Turning Point. The investigation of who shot John E. Bravo continued with James Mitchell just suggesting it was either Rosemary or Havoc did it. The Rascalz announced that they are leaving Impact Wrestling after being evicted from the Treehouse, and Wrestling Inc. reported this week that the team will be heading to WWE, with a deal being described as a formality. I will start with you, JJ. What's your thoughts on the Rascalz leaving Impact Wrestling and potentially going to WWE?
If they end up joining the NXT tag team division, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad if they joined the NXT tag team division, because honestly, the swampland called WWE tag team wrestling doesn't exist. So I would hate to see the Rascalz join the WWE side of tag team division, but NXT, they can definitely pull out some bangers. They could definitely pull out some bangers with the teams with the crop of talent that they get over there. So I wouldn't mind seeing them in NXT. Anywhere else, no.
How about you, Richie? What's your thoughts on the Rascalz in WWE?
Same thing. You know, Vince, for their size, I would not want them to go to WWE, because Vince is going to take one look at them. He might like them for 3 weeks, and then after that, you know, they're just getting beat up by the Lucha House Party on Main Event. So I think for their sake,
not even Main Events,
they should stay in Impact, or, I mean, I would say AEW, but God, their tag team division is just so stacked. I would probably just say for them to stay in Impact and just build their stock up a little bit more.
Yes, I talked about them getting the respect they deserve in Impact Wrestling, but if they're going to be successful, get their big money contract with WWE, I'm all for them having success. Richie, we have to let you go. We have a jam-packed show, but thank you for joining us for Tru Heel Heat 100. Please tell the people watching where they can find you on social media and the Richie Moon Show, of course.
You can find me at The Richie Moon Show on Instagram. You can find me at Mr. Richie Moon on Facebook and all other YouTube. All wherever you listen to your podcast is all The Richie Moon Show. I appreciate you guys. I love you to life, and I will see you guys on Sunday. Maybe we'll get an answer to that question, because I have a feeling that you guys want me to join Tru Heel Heat. But we shall leave that for Sunday.
I have a feeling you want to join Tru Heel Heat, but we will see on the Survivor Series roundtable. Thank you so much for joining us for Tru Heel Heat 100, sir. All right, Richie Moon is out. We are done with what we missed, and we move into the top news stories. And the top news, we bring in my good brother, one of my longest reigning friends in this whole world, back from high school. He joined us on one of the earliest editions of Tru Heel Heat. I believe Tru Heel Heat 12, I'm pretty sure. 10? Was it? No, it wasn't 10. I know which one was 10. You were on 12, which we broke down into different segments. We filled it up. He actually fell asleep on the on that episode. If you go back and watch that, good times there where we talked about WWE. So we avoided that to bring him on Tru Heel Heat 100 here. He is one of the contributors for the Jimmy Macaram YouTube channel. He is the host of All Elite Recap, and he is the founder and creator of My Battery is Dying YouTube channel. This is Marcus Cash.
Woo!
I mean, you covered more bases than I run, so yeah, thank you.
I mean, SP definitely right though. Your ass fell asleep on 12, man.
I really thought it was 10.
It was
but
not 10. Was 10 was post Mania after they had their 5-star classic.
Yeah.
Well, for those of you keeping score that care enough, give enough of a fecal matter, I was exhausted because I was working like 3 jobs. So
your battery literally died.
My internal battery died, and I just wanted to be on the show. So I brought what I could, and then they started talking about Japan, and I checked out.
Hey, I think it was actually a WWE topic, but yeah, to each his own. Either way, you lived up to your moniker, so at least you did that. We get into our top news. We had to bring in the co-host of All Elite Recap to talk about AEW video game is announced. During their formal announcement for AEW games, the company revealed that there will be 3 different video games coming out. In a Steve Jobs Apple parody, Kenny Omega was the initial presenter. One of the video games will be a console game with the developer of WWF No Mercy, the GOAT of all wrestling video games, which we saw the trailer for. Yooks, the game developers who were partners with WWE before a falling out after the damaging WWE 2K20 video game dropped, are partners with AEW now for their games. There will also be a mobile game entitled Elite General Manager, and finally there will be another mobile game called Casino Double or Nothing, which will be more of a gambling game. They also presented a t-shirt for AEW games with the logo. Aubrey Edwards, Britt Baker, and Cody Rhodes were also a part of the announcement in Steve Jobs attire, and what was, in my opinion, a funny parody. But Marcus Cash, what did you think of the initial announcement and the presentation for AEW games?
The presentation as a whole, I thought was very AEW, like very cheeky, very parody-ish. It was a cinematic presentation, so I thought that suited them well. I like that they dropped something. I feel like it might be premature because apparently these games are forever away. So I probably would have been okay waiting a little bit longer, but I did like what I mostly saw.
Will you buy it, friend?
Well, yeah.
You just said you know.
Yeah, I'll definitely download the mobile GM game at launch. I'd probably buy the game pretty early to launch for the console.
Okay.
So I'm down. I'm here for it.
Okay.
He's here for it. How about you, JJ? What was your thoughts on the presentation and Yooks actually being involved with this, which is one of the more famous producers of wrestling video games from our childhood?
That's literally all I was looking for when it came to that, was who was the developers and who was producing it. I will absolutely give this game a shot when it is ready. Obviously, they have a lot of graphical changes to do because it looks like very much WWE All-Stars. If you're familiar with video games, it looks like they did too much with the physiques. They look a little too Nintendo 64-ish with an upgrade. Other than that, like the presentation, I'm more into what the gameplay is going to be like instead of what the game actually looks like. Because WWE 2K looks phenomenal, but the gameplay sucks. The mechanics is trash. So that's why people can't stand it. And then on top of the glitches is what made it all fucking fall to shit, and they had to drop the whole thing and reboot the whole system. The presentation to me was niche. It was alright. I mean, it was a little over the top for me. Very over the top for me. Like, especially the presentation of a fucking shirt. Like, it was like, this shirt is trash. Like, I'm not...
It was a revolutionary shirt with
garbage ass shirt. I know it was but I get the joke, but the shirt sucked. I'm definitely not downloading any of the mobile games. I'm just waiting for the console game, which is probably not going to come out until 2022, as Marcus said, because the game is nowhere near ready. But I like what I've seen so far.
I don't get mobile games, but I have been begging for WWE to bring back the General Manager mode, so I'm all for Elite General Manager. I don't know about you guys, but I see Marcus Cash was shocked by that assessment by JJ.
Well, I'm a mobile game hua, if you will. I have about I have an exceedingly large memory-sized phone, and I don't take pictures. It's all for mobile games. I have about 45 mobile games on my phone.
Wow.
So this is really
You're
going
the
to
first person I've heard that they don't take pictures, but they use it for games.
I feel you. I mean, I got the Nintendo Switch, so that's my mobile device.
Fair.
I guess. But I want to say, I don't like how comic book-y some of the characters look on the mobile game.
Guys, this is just a test run. It was just a release. Give it up another year and a half. It'll be ready for all you guys. Don't worry.
I will say the Hikaru Shida character looked amazing. The men look like they just need to just redo that shit. But Hikaru Shida, spot on.
I think they are going to, they released it. They're going to take people's feedback, and they're going to go back and they're going to revamp it, and it's going to be looking like what you guys are expecting or was expecting to see on when they did this whole announcement.
Not for nothing, Chris Jericho looked like straight PlayStation 3.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, where's the lie?
Can I ask?
No lie detected. Go ahead, Marcus.
Can I ask about the T-shirt specifically? To me, it reminded me of a particular website that maybe wrestling fans might be quite frequent of.
Ooh.
I don't know. I mean, I understand that they're the
just say it. Say it.
AEW Hub.
Friend, say it with your chest.
I understand that this is the hub for AEW games, but I don't know. It felt very Pornhubby to me.
Thank you. Okay, say that.
Yeah, I mean, you won't see any disagreement. I don't think from any of us here. It did look kind of Pornhubby there, but do you guys think that the AEW game will live up to lofty expectations that it's set for itself? We'll start with you, Krssi.
Like I said, I think that this is just a test run. It's supposed to be like a little parody. This is just like the start of what's going to happen. I think they're going to go back, take people's feedback, because a lot of people have feedback, and they're going to say a whole bunch of shit and say something on the timeline. They're going to read those things. They probably have a whole team that's going to get ready. And they're going to revamp, and you guys will be very, very happy when y'all get the game. I don't play these games. I won't buy it, but I'll probably get it for one of you guys, maybe, whatever. I don't know, but great. That I have expectations for all of you guys that I hope that you all get what you need and want.
So my final question, Marcus Cash, are you going to get all of the games, 2 of the games, or 1 of the games? What is it? What is your final as of right now? I will phrase it that way.
Yeah, I mean, probably regardless. I don't have any intention to get the gambling game. DraftKings kind of covers all my needs for that. But the GM game for sure. Like I'd wish that launched right now. Quite frankly, I'd want to play that. The console game, I'm gonna get. I want to play it. I'm just a little nervous. Maybe I don't know if that's the right verb because of how Kenny Omega explained how difficult to master it might be. And I don't know if they're gonna make it too much like not a wrestling game, but more like these fighting games that I need 3 hands to play. So I'm curious how that's going to turn out.
How about you, JJ? I know you're a pretty big gamer yourself.
I'm definitely listen. The one thing that sold me on the game, I'm absolutely going to give it a shot because I believe the fact that the producer, the director of WWF No Mercy, is hands on with this game. Yeah. And if he brings back one thing, it's literally one thing that all wrestling gamers are dying to have back. Is the simple grappling system. If we get the simple grappling system with the counters, it makes the game that much easier and that much better to play for anybody to pick up a joystick and refer it to anyone.
That's pretty good assessment. That got me excited seeing the developer for WWF No Mercy, like I said, the GOAT wrestling video game for sure, in my opinion. Marcus Cash, thank you for joining us on Tru Heel Heat 100. Tell the fine people at home where they can find you on social media, and of course, AE Recap and your own YouTube channel.
Yeah, my own YouTube channel that I still have more stuff to record with your host down here, SP3. We do ECWTF. Where we go back in time, ECW Hardcore TV. I do All Elite Recap with Jimmy Macram on your Tru Heel Network. And my battery is dying, which is, like I said, the YouTube name, but also my Instagram name. Go give me a follow and check out some stuff I don't post.
This man is very talented, and he has his own unique opinions, and you can get a taste of that on the Full Gear pay-per-view roundtable review, where he had a lot of spicy takes for us to enjoy. But thank you so much for joining us on Tru Heel Heat 100, sir. All right, out was Marcus Cash. In my esteemed gentleman right here, we have the co-host of Wednesday Night Warriors. We have first the marijuana enthusiast himself, the co-host of Joints and Jabronis, the one, the only, Chris G.
Woo, with Mary Jane, of course. Finally on the Tru Heel Heat with Mary Jane.
Of course, with his lovely assistant. And finally, we have my co-host from True Rewind, the quarterback, the pilot, the Doc Brown in the DeLorean himself, the one, the only, the connoisseur of all reporting, Romeo Anthony Cologne.
What an entrance. Wow.
Thank you. This is my second time here on Tru Heel Heat, and I made it to 100. This is incredible pace. I'm making it to the big shows now. Like, I'm so proud of myself.
He's like, time. He's on his way now.
Moving up the chain fast, man. Who do you know?
Hey,
I know the best people.
You know somebody. But they've joined us for some of you guys' favorite time of this show when we break down the Wednesday Night Wars, week 54 of the Wednesday Night Wars between WWE, NXT, and AEW Dynamite. We give you the ratings as it posts when we are taping this live. When we're taping this, we just get it up on Twitter right now, and we break down what happened on both shows, and we let you know what was the better show for the week. If you want expert analysis of each segment from those shows, check out these good brothers on this week's Wednesday Night Warriors, of course. But we're gonna get the spoiler right here on Tru Heel Heat. Miss Krssi Love. Well, it's actually going to be after Wednesday Night Warriors post on the YouTube channel, but who cares? We're going to hear it twice.
Right, exactly. It doesn't matter.
Krssi Love, hit the drums. So, for week 54 of the Wednesday Night Wars, WWE NXT comes in with 632,000 viewers.
Okay.
To AEW Dynamite with 764,000 viewers.
Come on.
Yo,
like,
whenever you hit the sixes, that is not a good sign. That is just not a good sign. When you hit 6, not a good sign.
First of all,
Was there another election on?
No.
There was nothing. No, the Country Music Awards was on last night. The Country Awards was on last night. So a lot of people that probably watched those things. I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to give a benefit of the doubt. However,
bro, NXT be getting mad passes for every show that hits TV, yo.
You know what? Okay, fine.
Too many passes.
Next thing you know, the Simpsons marathon is gonna be the reason why they ain't get a fucking rating.
You know what? Hey, listen. I'm just trying to say, listen. They just had a crazy ass pay-per-view. Of course, everyone is gonna watch the show. Come on, guys. Let's just get. They had a banging show.
If you're gonna be fair, I guess you could say that. But over on WWE NXT, Johnny Gargano spin the wheel because he loves wheels now, and it chooses Leon Ruff to defend the NXT North American title. And after a distraction from Damian Priest, Leon Ruff is our new NXT North American champion. The Kings of NXT successfully defended.
Well, she's a champ for a week, right?
I don't know. I just tell you what happened on the shows. NXT tag team titles against Breezango, laying out those two, and Drink Maverick, who got involved in the main event, out to end the show. Santos Escobar defended the NXT Cruiserweight title. Candice LeRae against Jake Atlas in a really good match, probably the match of the night from NXT. Yes. Candice LeRae defeated Toni Storm and laid her out along with Shotzi Blackheart with the help of Ghostface Mask Woman, who was revealed as Indy Hartwell, and we got the setup for Shirai versus Rhea Ripley for next week's episode. AEW Dynamite had Penta versus Phoenix 2, with Penta getting the victory in a very good main event, with those two ripping each other's masses and not acting like brothers at all, after Eddie Kingston brushes Phoenix aside by kicking him out of the ring.
No, he didn't brush him. He kicked him out the ring, friend.
I said brushed him aside by kicking him out of the ring.
Okay, fine. I don't hear brush.
And he is interrupted by a returning Pac.
John Moxley versus Kenny Omega was set up for the December 2nd Dynamite, but two really good promos from those two guys. Cody is interrupted by Jade Cargill, who teases Shaq AEW's debut, and then is eviscerated on the mic by Brandy Rhodes, who had to act ghetto. It was kind of racist, but to each his own.
I wasn't gonna say it.
I'll be the one to say it. Young Bucks challenge Top Flight for the NXT, the AEW Tag Team Titles match next week, and the Natural Nightmares defeat Busher and the Blade in a bloody bunkhouse match. So we will start with the Wednesday Night Warriors. We will start with you, Chris G. What was a better show for the week?
Oh, come on. You got to ask. If you watch the Wednesday Night Warriors, you don't got to ask me that question. You know what I'm going towards.
17?
Oh, we're going 17. 17. We just beat Ric Flair's streak. We're 17 times.
What was the highlight for you from AEW?
You know, to be honest, I didn't think either show was like spectacular, but every time Eddie Kingston comes, man, he got me focused, and I really enjoyed the bunkhouse match, even though it was kind of a little too bloody for my taste. I really enjoyed that.
Romeo,
too bloody for Chris. Oh man, I can't wait to talk about that.
Romeo, we love your opinions. We always talk about it here on Tru Heel Heat. So, what was the better show for you, NXT or AEW?
Oh boy.
The better show this week in the Wednesday Night War was AEW. It was AEW.
That's 100 episodes of this show for him to say that.
Yes, I'd love to come on a week where NXT was legit the better show and you know, debate. There's no debate. There's no debate here.
I waited 100 episodes for you to make sense.
I feel like someone's gonna fall on my neck now. What is happening? Are you sure? You can't renege now, friend.
This is very, very easy. Very easy choice here. That Penta Phoenix match was the match of the night.
Yes.
And MJF with the Inner Circle.
Woo!
Those segments. That was just hilarious. Good shit. My favorite MJF Jericho interaction to date.
Was it because he quoted Drake?
Yes.
I had nothing to do with that, but that was hilarious. You got it's all him. It's all because
started from the bottom. Now we're here. And Homeboy was like, "What?
That's Drake.
Dude, come on, that's Drake, right?"
JJ, what was the better show for you?
I mean, clearly it was AEW. I was really hoping to hear Romeo somehow sell Leon Ruff or Leo, whatever the hell he was going to be the surprise of the week and put a NXT over the top. But damn it, it made sense. We made sense with the pick, man. I was waiting to hear some bullshit.
I mean, I can sell Leon Ruff. That was hilarious. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, sure.
And I'm looking forward to that going forward.
Yeah. But I mean, clearly AEW. I mean, like I think, like Chris said, like neither show was like wow. Like neither show wowed me. But there were moments in AEW like I ain't gonna lie, I like Ghetto Brandy. That shit was like, ooh. Yo, she sounded like a straight evil, spiteful woman. Like that was just like, yo, don't fuck with my man. And you know what I mean? Like you act the way act it. Fuck it. They gonna perceive you as a shit. Act it.
I don't even think it's acting. I think it's like if you can be your realest self, but in your character, I think that sells. And I think that's what everyone was gravitating to because one, you are a woman of color, and we have tendencies of being the, bitchy and, things like of that nature. With that being said, being your true self, which he probably is outside of AEW's forum, this is what, you get the realest of who people really are.
I loved it.
We like those type of things.
I loved it. And I loved it. And my God, like, dude, I was nothing this week at all was gonna top Penta and Phoenix. Like nothing at all on any show and any brand was gonna top that match. Like that shit was a fucking masterpiece. I love the finish. I loved how Eddie Kingston tried to brush it off, which is leaving us a cliffhanger for God knows when. For now, when Pac, like Jesus Christ, man. I love the start, but I didn't like how he finished. It's like he came out with this fire and then he kind of like let up.
He kind of had to because they did the whole pull apart because Eddie. I liked the fact that they explained why the officials were out there because Eddie wasn't cleared. Krssi, what was the better show for you?
As in everyone else said, I like segments from each show. So for me, I'll put it over the top because of MJF. Started from the bottom, now we are here. And we are now all going to Las Vegas to party our asses off. All on me. All on me. Here's the tickets. And as in JR said, well, you're going to have to get on a bus ticket because you got to leave tomorrow to get there for next week. I don't know if anyone else heard that comment, but I did. And I thought it was hilarious. But MJF, my God. Wow. I mean, he just proves me every day that he is young Ted DiBiase. Every day. It's golden. It is just golden. He probably will invent his own belt, as in Darius Carter had said before. He's just phenomenal. And I'm loving that everyone in the crew is not happy with these changes. But, as in all crews, there's always one apple or two that don't like what the direction of where things are going. But I'm going to give it to AEW. I like both endings for both shows. The Penta and Eddie King, all of that whole ending of their main event was phenomenal. I could have swore that he broke Homeboy's neck like 3 or 4 times. And I'm just like, is he alive? Is he okay? And just phenomenal to AEW end of the week on that. So
that cradle pile driver looked brutal.
Yes, I was afraid, and I'm at home, and I'm not even there with them. I know it's all pre-taped or whatever, but still, it's just like it looks. I was like, did he break Homeboy's neck like at least like 4 times? He needs like 4 weeks off now.
At least with that one on the apron for sure.
Yes.
I gotta give it to AEW. This was a strong post Full Gear episode. I was surprised by the setup for Moxley and Omega, but it makes a lot of sense if the rumors are true that Moxley can potentially be at Wrestle Kingdom. It makes sense to take the title off of him before he has to go out to Japan to quarantine. But by far, my opinion, the top 2 segments of the night was the induction of MJF into the Inner Circle and Phoenix versus Pentagon in the main event. That was amazing. That was a great match, great story. I like the elevation of the animosity between the 2 brothers, and Pac returning was a godsend in my opinion. He's going to create a whole bunch of storylines and probably help Eddie Kingston either remain a heel or become a babyface, depending on which way they want to turn that. I will ask this question just to Romeo. Romeo, do you think Pac paid off what Tony Khan had to say in his tweet about the
If you didn't bring it up,
power?
I was gonna bring it up. Tony Khan, once again, overhyping shit. It's gonna, what did he say, change the wrestling industry or something?
The balance of power in wrestling will shift tonight.
The balance of power in AEW will shift. That's what he should have said. And I had no problem whatsoever.
Thank you.
It was better than a Dixie Carter announcement.
It was Dixie Carter-esque, though. And it was
getting there, but it wasn't as bad.
It was so Dixie Carter-esque, he had to call up PW Insider, and they spoke to Tony Khan, and he said, I quote, in regards to the balance of power tweet, there's more to come. Pac coming back is the beginning of a huge push for the rest of the year. As I said in my last tweet just now, balance of power in storyline refers to Eddie Kingston's strong power base as a character, which could be threatened, but it also refers to the big push AEW is making for the rest of the year into and through December and into 2021. Like Romeo said, that means the balance of power in AEW, not wrestling. Not wrestling.
He's excited about his product, man. He's excited.
Yeah,
he's excited.
Let him also tell it.
But that was some real Dixie shit. That was real Dixie shit. Yes, it was.
That was Dixie levels on the tweet. Brothers, thank you so much, Chris G and Romeo, for joining for our AEW and NXT review. Please tell the people at home where they can find you on social media, and of course, Wednesday Night Warriors and everything else you do on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel. Romeo first.
The Pride of NY on Twitter and Instagram. Sid already plugged the other stuff. I just want to say congratulations on 100 episodes of Tru Heel Heat. I watched earlier this morning a little bit of Tru Heel Heat episode 1, which you shared, Sid, and you guys have come a long way. Long way. But one thing that stayed the same is the energy and passion that you two, and then you picked her up along that she brings. You all bring the energy and passion for the wonderful sport of professional wrestling. Keep doing that. Hundreds more.
Thank you for those,
Appreciate that, sir.
kind words, brother. Chris G, any final plugs or remarks, sir?
Yeah, you can find me at Tru Heel Chris G, Joints and Jabronis, Wednesday Night Warriors, you know, the usual. Tru Heel 100, man. Feels like just yesterday we were bullshitting on Facebook during like Tru Heel 31. You know what I mean? We've been here for a long time. Here's to 100 episodes. Can't wait for the next 100.
Thank you, good brothers. Definitely
Appreciate
check
that,
them
man.
out.
Salute, man.
Yes.
Check them
thank
out
you.
on Wednesday Night Warriors. Is up on the YouTube channel right now, and these good brothers will definitely be back on Tru Heel Heat in one of the hundreds more that we do. Thank you, guys.
So we are back with our final guest of Tru Heel Heat 100. We had to end things off right. I'm back with the CGI behind me, not the blanket on the wall. And we have one of my favorite. Yes. I had to bring the old school for Tru Heel Heat 100, but I got to go back here and bring in one of our favorites, all of our favorite guests. He was on the most viewed Tru Heel Heat on our YouTube channel for 2019. He joined us on Tru Heel Heat 50 as well. He is an actor, a writer, a creator of many media, but he is one of the stars. I will give you one of the stars, but the creator of the great independent film coming out, The Fix. He is Glenn Robert Ford. Thank you so much for joining us on Tru Heel Heat 100.
Thank you. That's a hell of an introduction.
I practiced these.
Such a pleasure to be back. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for joining us on Tru Heel Heat 100. You were on 50. You joined us for 100. You were on in the 40s. But thank you for celebrating this milestone with us.
Well, congratulations on 100 episodes. You know, you guys managed to survive during this these uncertain times. I'm sure we've heard that term a million times over, and the year's not over. But you guys managed to pull through and continue to put out some content, and I'm proud of all of you guys. So salute, cheers. I haven't eaten yet today. I work overnight, so I would toast in JJ fashion, but
I'll do it for you, my friend.
Right, we'll do it for you. Here you go.
Thank you.
Don't worry,
My shit is
sir.
always on deck.
I would say no. We should cheers to you in the fix for what it has done and what it's continuing to do. So cheers to you, friend.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Thank you for joining us, sir. We had to bring you on. We're finishing up with our news here, and we'll get some of your thoughts on a couple of our news notes that we have here. First up, we got WWE News. WrestleVotes reports that this is about WrestleMania coming up. There has been internal discussions about moving the scheduled date of WrestleMania from March 28th to April 11th, or even April 18th. The goal remains to have fans in attendance for the event, and the thought process of moving back the show a few weeks only helps that out. Glenn, what are your thoughts on people actually going to WrestleMania or going to professional wrestling shows at all during this whole global pandemic? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, it's a step in the right direction. The other brand seems to get it right. I mean, they had a sprinkle of guests. Other sports, brands have done the same. I feel as if it's safe to do so, and they sign a waiver, and they feel comfortable being around everyone at these sporting events. Why not? I mean, it's important to respect this virus, this pandemic, regardless of what your beliefs are. It's important to respect it, but it's also important to continue to live our lives.
Facts. Drop that knowledge, sir, for sure. We have to live our lives, but it is kind of Kind of makes you put the eyebrow up for sure. And I know you love your eyebrows up with your rock impressions. With WWE reportedly leaving the Thunderdome at the end of this month, Dave Meltzer of Wrestling Observer Radio reports that their one location that WWE is thinking of moving to is Tropicana Field, which is the home of the Tampa Bay Devil Rays baseball team. It was also noted that WWE is running at a baseball stadium for multiple weeks might not be sustainable. PW Insider reports that longtime WWE announcer Tony Chimmel was among 15 or so WWE releases made this week. WWE also announced that Tribute to the Troops will be returning this year live from the Thunderdome. Fightful Select reports that Santana Garrett has been called up to the main roster but has not been used as of yet, along with Vanessa Bourne and Chelsea Green, who were also called up earlier this year. Fightful Select also reports that WWE is interested in bringing back release talent from the Black Wednesday releases, including No Way Jose, who was also reported that they trademarked The Way in reference to his returns. Like I said, we haven't had Glenn on in a while, but one of the main news stories of this year with the whole global pandemic was the Black Wednesday releases. What was your reaction to WWE releasing 40% of their workforce during this whole pandemic? While making record profits. I should actually also note that.
While making record profits?
Yes, while making record profits, because that's been revealed in their quarterly calls.
Well, that will cause me to raise an eyebrow. I can't call it. I can't call it. Maybe they seen something that we didn't see, or they didn't see what we saw, and Future endeavored 40 some odd employees.
It's an interesting time for sure. It's an interesting time for sure. Fightful,
and it also shows that, well, it continues to show that creative has nothing for this talent, and it's amazing how other wrestlers or other talent will go elsewhere, and it happens to work out for them. So there's that as well.
And speaking of other talents and other places to go, an interesting note from Fightful Select as well. They revealed that several WWE talent received their first COVID-19 tests prior to AEW Double or Nothing in May at Daly's Place in Jacksonville, Florida. This was before WWE introduced their own COVID testing policy to the company. I thought that was a very interesting note that they got their test at AEW. Fightful Select also revealed that there was interest within WWE for Alex Zane, who had his final independent match this past weekend for GCW. PW Insider was also reports that WWE has quietly turned Braun Strowman back to babyface with his move to Monday Night Raw. Top Guy JJ, what's your thoughts on Braun Strowman potentially becoming this generation's Big Show with the amount of turns he's done in this year alone?
It is completely Big Show-esque. It is completely uninteresting. It is so uninteresting. Like this whole Strowman Express started to take off on SmackDown, and then he just got Fiend.
Yep.
He got Bray Wyatted it, and then he just faded into obsolescence. And now he's on Monday Night Raw, and now he's literally a member of Team Survivor Series. He probably going to be the second one eliminated via double countout with whoever else he goes into the fight with, probably Baron Corbin or some shit. He has just fallen into pure obscurity. And it's sad to see because he's in the best shape of his life. He looks better than he has ever looked. He's the meat castle. And he's just not interesting anymore.
Fading into the limelight pretty much. PW Insider also reports that Savio Vega and The Godfather will appear at Survivor Series for Undertaker's 30th anniversary. And SmackDown ratings this past week were 2.315 million viewers, while Raw drew 1.690 million viewers, with the third hour up to 1.5 million, which Yes, that's up from the record low that was last week. AEW news: Young Bucks revealed in an interview with Sports Illustrated that it was Tony Khan's call to put the AEW World Tag Team titles on them at Full Gear, and they wanted to wait another year before winning. Krssi Love, we talked about earlier in the show the news from Louis Dangor that FTR have not re-signed with AEW and that they are currently unsigned free agents. What's your thoughts on the Young Bucks if they would have held off another year before winning the tag titles?
If the Young Bucks would have not won, you mean?
They wanted to not win the tag team titles for another year, is what they revealed to Sports Illustrated.
Okay, maybe I feel like the Young Bucks are like in this point where they're more sitting in the hat of like executive and like creation, and they want to build up others around them. Like their name speaks volumes, so they don't have to do much really. So I guess they have this company and they want to build up what they have on their roster because it's pretty stacked. So I get what they're saying. They didn't need the titles. It's fine. Like they're again, their name speaks. So for them not needing those titles, I get it. I understand it.
Makes sense. Wrestling Observer Radio revealed that Moxley was originally supposed to feud with Lance Archer, not Kenny Omega, following Full Gear. Tony Khan, in the post-Full Gear media scrum, admits that he wants a working relationship with New Japan Pro Wrestling and believes now that Harold Meij is gone that the possibility is more open. Glenn, being a longtime wrestling fan, what's your thoughts on AEW and the way they've been working with places like NWA, AAA, and now wanting to work with New Japan, and how different that is from how WWE has treated the wrestling industry for the past few years?
It shows their range. It shows their versatility. It shows something new, and it just shows that they're not out to just be exclusive and to shut down other promotions. They're all willing to work together because the bottom line is, regardless of where you are, they're all doing the same thing. They're entertaining us. So why not collaborate, come together? More minds are better than one. So if you got creators from different territories, if one is stuck mentally, you have the other one to go to in regards to a different angle for a different wrestler. And it's like, in this case, I wouldn't mind having too many cooks in the kitchen, because if you're cooking for a wedding, you need more than one cook, right?
It's facts. It's true.
I think the possibilities are endless going this route as far as AEW is concerned. And as far as all the other territories are concerned, I mean, it doesn't hurt either brand.
It only helps putting more eyes on all these different brands, for sure. After Cody blamed fan expectations on the feedback to the women's division, Tony Khan admitted that AEW needs to do better with the division and will improve. Krssi Love, I know we've had our discussion about the AEW women's division, but do you like the fact that Tony Khan admits that they need to do better and admits that they have done bad by the women's division? How different that is from the rest of the executives, it seems.
You have to take accountability. Once you take accountability, you can understand what happened and where someone dropped the ball. It's light at the tunnel. I feel like, once they said, okay, yeah, we probably focused on other things and not the girls to like build up this company or this brand, it says a lot. So, hopefully it changes and, take account for what has happened. And, and it shows a lot of the person and the character,
Yeah, it does. And finally, the final note from the post-media scrum with Tony, he revealed that the next special Dynamite will be in January, entitled Beach Break. The Elite Deletion match was filmed a week ago and had positive feedback from the locker room at Full Gear. There was negative reaction from Rebby Hardy on Twitter, who revealed that she was uncomfortable with the amount of people on the film crew and telling people to not look or talk to her during the shooting. So more spicy Rebby. More spicy Rebby.
Right?
She has to be. She has to be Puerto Rican from Queens. So
exactly. There you go.
New Japan Pro Wrestling news. Carl Anderson believes a relationship with New Japan and Impact Wrestling is better than it has been in years after the Chris Bay's inclusion in the Super J Cup and Rocky Romero appearing on a special Talk and Shop on Access TV. Speaking of the Super J Cup, the first round will be Clark Connors versus Chris Bay, Ray Horace versus Blake Christian, ACH versus TJP, El Phantasmo versus Leo Rush in what's going to be a great lineup for the Super J Cup. The lineup, we talked about the lineup for the best of the Super Juniors, and we'll have more preview for that next week on Tru Heel Heat 101. But World Tag League was announced, and the teams are going to be Hiroshi Tanahashi and Toru Harnare, Juice Robinson, and David Finlay, who won the tournament last year. The IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champions Zack Sabre Jr. and Taichi, Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, Gorillas of Destiny, Goto and Yoshihashi, Yano and Ishii, Shingo and Sanada, Evil and Yujiro Takahashi, Bad Luck Fale and Chase Owens, and Great Okan and a mystery partner. And of course, J News Japan will have full coverage of everything going on in the World Tag League on J News Japan this coming week. ROH Pure Tournament, it has finally wrapped up, but in ROH, in a bit of New Japan news, Dragon Lee, aka Ryu Lee, was sent home during his quarantine in Japan. He was supposed to be a part of the Best of the Super Juniors 27, but was sent home for undisclosed reasons, which is why he will not be a part of the tournament. PW Insider reports that Dragon Lee and Roosh are reportedly going to return to Ring of Honor for their next set of TV tapings, and Lee is the current ROH TV champion, and Roosh is the current ROH World Champion. Danhausen has signed a contract with ROH on the condition that he must win a match before the end of the year. Impact Wrestling news, Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that Impact Wrestling has a gag order on the roster in regards to Kylie Ray and her departure from the promotion, which goes with the Top Guy JJ was talking about how Impact Wrestling has kind of handled this whole Kylie Ray situation. What's your thoughts on the gag order, JJ?
Oh man, I mean, is this like official? What's going on with Kylie Ray?
She's retired.
Yeah, I mean, I just more wish her well. I just wish her well, and I think we touched on this a few episodes ago, and I think we kind of hit it right on the head with it. And usually, when you just randomly not show up to events like that, there's something behind that. So I'm just glad that it has been handled the way it's been handled, and I will continue to give them props and praise for the way they handled a situation that no one knew about until it came out from the person herself.
Yes, they handled this well, so I continue to give credit to Impact Wrestling. The final note from Impact is James Storms returned on Impact Wrestling this week to align with his former rival Chris Sabin, and he explained that he has not re-signed with them full-time, but he is there to help the roster. The final wrestling notes is MLW officially announced David Boy Smith Jr. challenges for the MLW World title against Jacob Fatu and Myron Reed versus Brian Pillman Jr. for the middleweight championship on their restart debut on November 18th, and Talking Shop Mania will stream on Fight TV this Friday for the Rise of the Torturer. I know me and Glenn Ford, we went to the Opera Cup for MLW. What's your viewpoint on MLW with their restart? You've been there live for MLW, so what do you think it's going to be with their restart coming up, brother?
These questions. I think
you have a stake there because your brother, your boy AJ's there, and he's our boy too because we've had him on the channel.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, any brand that recovers from this pandemic should be on the up and up. And MLW is a solid brand. They got some great talent there, familiar faces. So yeah, I think it's a plus.
Awesome for sure. We love seeing more wrestling, and we love seeing Glenn Ford join us. Anything you want to get out to the people out there in regards to the fix coming out very soon? Any viewpoints on wrestling you want to spice it up and tell us, or anything you want to plug before we let you go?
As far as like wrestling is concerned, can I just say that Paul Heyman is an endangered species. He needs to be protected
As far as like contributions to the business, overall contributions to the business, he's up there with Bobby Heenan, if not surpassed Bobby Heenan. The only thing Bobby Heenan has over Paul Heyman is the fact that Bobby took bumps. And I'm not talking about a manager versus manager match.
He did wrestling. He actually did matches.
Yeah, well, you're talking about Bobby, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He actually had matches with wrestlers, not just managers. So, so he could have easily been a wrestler, but you can't ignore the entire body of work of Paul Heyman and what he's doing right now with Roman Reigns being the best version of his career is just remarkable. It's remarkable because it also shows what creative didn't have for Roman Reigns all these years. These promos that he's been cutting prior to Paul Heyman were god awful, and it took John Cena to be the match under his ass a little bit, but the match fizzled out, and it finally took Paul Heyman to take the reins and say, listen, no pun intended, and say, okay, he's going to turn heel, and this is the best version of, this is the best thing going in wrestling right now.
I gotta agree.
As far as WWE is concerned, that and at one point when Sasha and Bayley were together on SmackDown, those were the only things that were keeping me watching, really. And the Drew McIntyre Randy Orton feud, the way that it was building, the way it was progressing, I loved every bit of it. Every week, it was a joy to watch both of them go at it, and then finally see it come together in the matches. And the matches definitely complemented the build. What say you?
For sure, I gotta agree with you. We've been praising so much the Tribal Chief, Bayley and Sasha for sure, but most especially Roman Reigns. He's just been on the top of his game, and this is the best version of Roman ever.
And it's like, okay, Paul's gonna be the mouthpiece, and he hasn't really needed to be the mouthpiece.
Right.
I enjoy, and I'm like, huh. And it's just like, yes, Paul is hands-on behind the scenes, which is another testament to his body of work and his legacy. But it's like on camera, it's like, I'll just give a little input. I don't need to say much. And this is beautiful.
Yeah.
It really is beautiful. And from a show perspective, AEW is the best show overall in terms of primetime television and, mainstream television. They seem to have it right. They got it's a modern business with nostalgia and Jim Ross and Tony Schiavone.
Excellent.
You got the voices of the Monday Night Wars
working together
on a modern product with open-minded creative and open-minded management.
Yes,
it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And they seem to have they obviously got it right during this pandemic with the COVID situation and having a sprinkle of fans here and there, and it's kind of hard to like fully escape it, but overall they seem to have it right.
Yeah,
it's just a joy to watch. And going back to WWE, Hell in a Cell it was an entertaining pay-per-view, and I really enjoyed it. And if any young girl is trying to get into the business, they need to watch that Sasha and Bayley match, because that was just, you see these girls just beat the shit out of each other, and tell a story all at the same time.
Yes.
For sure, man. It's been a good time in professional wrestling, even through all this scariness with the global pandemic. But we are very thankful that you were able to join us, good sir, on Tru Heel Heat 100. Any plugs for what you're doing? And of course, the picks.
I could have missed the 100 episode, baby. I'm gonna congratulate all three of y'all. Later on, I'm gonna get some wine, baby, and I'm gonna give a toast to 100 episodes to 100 more, baby.
Thank you.
God damn it! When are we getting the fix? God damn it! When are we getting the fix?
Oh, this all
Yeah, that awesome shit behind you. When are we getting it in our lives?
man. If it wasn't for the, if
We
it wasn't
know. I'm just
listen,
busting your shit.
if it wasn't for the Chinese flu, if it wasn't for the Chinese flu, we would be releasing this movie. I mean, the pandemic ruined everything. So you're gonna have to wait. I'm gonna have to make America wait again. Next. uh, yeah. So June 2021, and I'll be the first to announce this publicly that I'm extending the film. I started shooting earlier this morning.
Wow. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Awesome. You love to see it. You love to hear it, bro.
So Instagram, the fix short. So it's the fix, and then you just add the short. You can find exclusive content on the Instagram page. You can find me at Glenn with 2 N's, Robert Ford.
Thank you so much, good brother. We appreciate you coming on. One of our favorites, and we love the impressions always, and your viewpoints on professional wrestling, bro.
They said this day will never come. Just want to congratulate Sid and Crystal and JJ on 100 episodes. Me and Michelle, we're going to give a toast and congratulate you and wish you 100 more. And God bless you and God bless America.
Oh my God! Yes. The closer I
Thanks,
get
brother.
to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. And it's a pleasure. It was great seeing you guys. And it was a pleasure chopping up with you guys for a bit.
Yes.
Yes, we appreciate you taking the time out, brother. Thank you for joining us. We are finally at the end. This has been the end of Tru Heel Heat 100. Any final remarks from you guys before we wrap things up on this jam-packed episode with the most guests we've ever had? Top guy JJ.
Wow, I can't believe we did this shit 3 years ago. 3 years ago from right here where I'm sitting. Episode 1, loud as fuck, just talking a whole bunch of shit with paper rights and hashtag papers and Lord knows where the fuck this shit was gonna go. And we got 100 goddamn episodes in. I am proud as shit of the entire Tru Heel Heat team. I am more than grateful for everybody that's been on, from Mimi to all the ladies, from Mimi to Janelle to Krssi to Queen of the Ring. We've had so many great people on here. The fact that we've done this 100 times, my God. And we are striving for more. Like, I'm just grateful for everybody, and the fact that we haven't had Baby Seth on here. Baby Seth, my guy, man, motherfucking Baby Seth is literally the unsung hero. If there was ever unsung heroes of the Tru Heel Heat family, he is literally one of the crown jewels of the entire family, and I'm just really grateful that we've done this 100 times. And Krssi has been one of the absolute best things to ever happen to this show, and I just wanted to cap it off with that. And SP, I give you a bunch of shit, but you do your goddamn thing, man. You do.
Thank you, sir. I did a little rib while you weren't with us at the top of the show, and I said Krssi was the key free agent acquisition. She was the Anthony Davis to my LeBron James, while you was Alex Caruso. But since we're getting a trade, I think very shortly, I will give you DeMar DeRozan. That's a good. You're a great third star. No, but we're more like the big three. We are more like LeBron, D Wade, Chris Bosh. We all fit our roles. We all do our things, and we all do it excellent, brother. I always enjoy your opinion, and you bring the heat in Tru Heel Heat always. Miss Krssi Love, any final remarks?
I was gonna say, let's go old school since we've seen the documentary from Michael Jordan. Let's be Jordan, Pippen, and Rodman, man. Let's go real old school. I'm showing my age shit. But you keep calling me a free agent. I met you guys just being a wrestling fan and just just talking shit and having fun. And who would have thought that I'd have like brothers for life? From meeting you guys at a bar and just watching simple old wrestling. You guys invited me. and you welcomed me with open arms, and you kept inviting me. And I love you. And to 100, I met you on the road to the 100. And here's to 100 more. I finished my drink with all the guests we had. But cheers to us, and cheers, baby Steph. Love you. Wish you were here with us. And God, I'm getting teary-eyed. I'm a G. But I love you guys daily, and thank you. 100 more to go. Let's do it. I'm ready.
Now, honestly, guys, this would not be possible without these two individuals here. Top Guy JJ just allowing us into his home in those original episodes, giving us a studio, a set, and really his passion for professional wrestling is what really keeps this as, you know, for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, and it all comes from JJ. Miss Krssi Love, like I said, was one of the key acquisitions to kind of bring it all together. Baby Seth is the unsung hero of it all. He has edited 100 episodes with this episode that you are watching right here, and he is so talented in his post-production with making sets for us, making the camera platform, you know, being our producer when we were doing it live on the spotlight, and through it all, through this whole global pandemic, being able to still do this and him putting it together behind the scenes. He deserves so much credit. We have a whole cast of contributors on our YouTube channel, from Romeo and Krssi that we saw on this edition, Marcus Cash, of course, Jimmy Macaram, Ness, Drunk Guy JJ, Stat King, J News, who also joined us on this episode here. There's been so many talented individuals that have come in and out of this whole thing, from people like Steve Stash, who played our security, then did editing for us as well. His sister has done editing for us. So every one of them deserves, they have a little bit of credit for everything, but most of all, you guys watching are the whole reason why we continue to do it, and we will continue to do it for 100 episodes more. Tru Heel Heat 100 would not be possible without each and every one of you that watches us on YouTube, listens to us on audio, watched us from starting off with like 2 people watching on Tru Heels to 1,000 people on the spotlight to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and thousand more on every single episodes that we put out here on our YouTube channel. But the future is bright. I have one more guest. You wanna? Can I get her real quick, babe? I have one more guest. She's appeared on this before, but she's up right now, so she deserves her credit as well. My wife won't be on the show. She's contractually obligated not to be on the show, but we had to show the future of Tru Heel Heat, Harley P. It is me. It is Harley P. She's gonna be the future host, along with her brother Sydney. I would not be able to do this podcast every single week without my wife, and without these two. So I gotta thank them as well. But most of all, every one of you watching, you guys know there's a whole lineup on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, but I don't want to go through all of that. I think I'm gonna close it right there for Tru Heel Heat 100 for the princess of all the Tru Heels, Miss Krssi Love.
Yes, woo!
For our resident Tru Heel alcoholic, Top Guy JJ. You guys like this video, share this video with all your wrestling fans and friends, put the subscribe button to subscribe and the bell to all notifications for all the great content right here on Tru Heel Heat. It is me, it is SP3 and Harley P. We are signing off for Tru Heel Heat 100. Until next time.